Homestead Senior Care, and our caregivers provide those services and more. Call us at 662-5556.
Hi, this is Brett Patton from Wade Patton Insurance. Being an independent agency, we have the ability and experience to find affordable coverage for you. Wade Patton Insurance, where we value your business.
What if there were a faster and easier way to buy your next vehicle? If you could not only look at cars online or on your phone, but negotiate price, financing, value your trade-in, and schedule delivery. With Midway Motors Fast Track program, now you can. Select your vehicle, determine your monthly payments, value your trade-in, schedule your test drive, and then come in to sign the paperwork and the vehicle is yours. Learn more at midwaymotors.com. Midway Motors, for every mile of life.
You may notice many politicians run one way for their primary and then shift their ads during the general election to appear as something they are not. I am a constitutional conservative who will defend your rights, defend life, and put the brakes on spending and taxes. Thomas Jefferson said the people are the final arbiter. I ask for your vote as representative for the 114th District. I ask for your prayers and to help keep Kansas a great place to live, raise families, do business, and retire. I'm Michael Murphy, and I appreciate your vote.
Paid by committee to elect Michael Murphy, Janice Murphy, Treasurer.
From the Eaton Roofing Weather Center, Eaton Roofing, here for the life of your home.
Clear and windy this evening, a low 52, south winds at 15 to 30. Saturday, sunshine, a high 78. Those south winds will continue at 15 to 30. Saturday night, mostly clear, a low around 41. Sunday, cloudy, breezy, and colder with a high around 51.
Hutchinson's 95.9 HKFM.
Well, I looked it up. Don't ask me why. I just felt like it one day.
This weekend, we feature the musical poets of our generation, the singer-songwriter, with a pencil and paper, a guitar, a piano, or the drums. They crafted the soundtracks of our lives. We're spotlighting our generation. Hutchinson's source for local news and the most hits. Playing the greatest hits of all time. KWHK Hutchinson, 95.9 HKFM.
The following is a presentation of the Ad Astra Sports Network. Stay tuned for exclusive coverage of Bueller Crusader football on Oldies 95.9 HKFM. Crusader football is streaming online at adastraradio.com and on your smartphone or tablet with the Ad Astra Radio app. Coming up, the Midway Motors drive to the game as Aaron West and Chris Shank break down tonight's matchup.
Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Hutch are proud supporters of high school sports. And of course, we are proud to support our community any way we can. Good luck to all of our athletes this season. We hope you have a fun and memorable and most of all, healthy season. Be safe. Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the giant corner of Lorraine and 30th in Hutch or online 24/7 at allensamuelshutch.com. Come by. Let's be friends.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Well, a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Crusader football on this week 7 Friday night here on 95.9 HKFM. Aaron West alongside Chris Shank for the broadcast tonight here inside the Midway Motors drive to the game. We'll be joined coming up by our partners at the Crusader Sports Network. Reminder, tonight's game streaming online and on your phone with the Ad Astra Radio app, powered by Nextech Wireless. You're mobile and need to stay connected online at nextechwireless.com. A number of ways to tune in to the broadcast tonight, including here on 95.9, also on the Ad Astra Radio app, and on YouTube via the Crusader Sports Network. Tonight, it's a all-Crusader battle here in Bueller as the 3-2 Bueller Crusaders take on the 1-5 Wellington Crusaders. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast. Bueller last week coming off that 18-6 loss at McPherson. In week number 6, just their second loss of the season. 6-6 game until Bueller scores late at the end of the first half. They would score one more time in the second half. 314 total yards of offense for Bueller to 407 for McPherson. And Christopher, as we kind of break down Friday night's game, interesting that McPherson does put up 407 yards of offense, but they only manage 18 points out of that.
Yeah, there is no trophy given for the amount of yards you rack up and roll up. The number one goal, obviously, is to score. And it was a night that, some losses, Aaron, you feel really bitter or upset. But that was one of those losses that that McPherson team, Aaron, was averaging over 40 points a night. I'd been hearing for weeks all the chatter about how McPherson just had this offensive juggernaut that could not be stopped. And, I walked away from that game going last week. Bueller can play with the best team, one of the best teams in the West, and I really came away with positive feelings.
I think overall it's fair to say that both teams had opportunities where they had mistakes, whether it was missed extra points, whether it was turnovers, penalties. Mac had 7 penalties in that game. A couple of interesting things. We've been on this theme all year with this Bueller defensive bend but don't break. They've given up some yards in some games, but not the points. That coupled with, I'm still holding on to this little bit of old school. It's where you get late in the year and you play better teams. You got to be able to run the football some to keep the defense honest. Mac was not able to run the football, just 55 yards on Friday. And so I just think as we get into the playoffs and it gets colder and you play really good teams, you've got to be more balanced.
No doubt. And I would love to see the breakdown, Aaron, of how many of those 55 yards did they gain towards the end of the game when they just were having that steady dose of the gum kid running the football. But, I truly, very rarely does a strong throwing team that can't run the football win a state championship in Kansas, and it's because it is really difficult to throw the football all over the yard in mid to late November in Kansas if it's wet, windy, or cold.
Well, I feel like we saw that. You go back to 2013 in our state championship win against a Coffeyville team that touted all this speed at wide receiver, and they were going to throw the ball all over. They couldn't run the ball, and so they didn't win.
Yep, and even though that day was a fairly nice day, it's still more difficult to catch the football when it's cold. I don't know what it is about it. The football just feels like it's harder. And, I mean, if you are completely reliant on throwing the football around, it gets progressively more difficult as the weather continues to change.
Sam Elliott, fourth straight night over 100 yards rushing, 23 carries, 135 yards, and a touchdown. His task will be a little bit more difficult tonight as he's going to be without one of his best offensive linemen on the big side, and Big Trevor Cooper. And a look at our Man Wyatt and Rice injury update. At Man Wyatt and Rice Injury Attorneys, helping people is their passion. Serving their clients with trusted legal advice online at manwyattattorneys.legal. So Trevor Cooper breaks his foot this week, out for the season. That shifts Bo Van Bruggen to the big side of the line in that tackle position, and Ryan Henderson into the tight end position, which is still two very talented guys, but I felt like that offensive line was getting into such a rhythm. They were really dominating the line of scrimmage, and that maybe sets them back just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, because it takes, well, the last parts of a football team to gel is the offensive line. And, having a loss like Trevor Cooper, a kid that, started pretty much every game last year for the Crusaders as a sophomore, continued that here as a junior, it's going to be a challenge. And but the good teams have that next man up mentality. And even though Bo was already starting, just him going to a different role, it's going to be really interesting to see how those guys gel with Bo being plugged in there at big tackle.
Yeah, certainly we'll see how that plays a factor tonight. One other guy that's not suited up to play is one of our key guys on defense in James Blick. We don't think it's anything serious or that he's going to be out for the rest of the year, but he does have the Letterman's jacket on tonight, which is a good sign he's not going to play.
Yep, I knew that James was questionable tonight, and I was doing the same thing, Aaron, when I saw him down on the sideline with the letter jacket. Knew that he would not be available tonight, but we'll hope that James gets healed up and gets to feeling better and can contribute coming up down the season for the Crusaders.
Well, the good thing is if the next 2 weeks, if you're going to get guys healed up, now is the time to do it before you get to the playoffs. So
yes, and nothing against our next two opponents in Wellington and Circle, but I love how this schedule sets up for the Crusaders. There is nothing worse as an old coach than to have a super, super difficult regular season finale going into the playoffs. It's good to have some weeks where Bueller maybe isn't going to be facing as difficult a competition, but you still got to come out, prepare, and continue to get better.
Bradley Neal has just his second 100-yard passing game of the season, 11 of 23, 149 yards and an INT. I feel like some progress was made last week and maybe still some work to do there. I felt like Brock McCurdy finally hit his stride a little bit and having his best night with 6 catches. So maybe some improvement there that we've been waiting to see.
Yeah, I mean, the Crusaders are going to be a force to be reckoned with on the ground. We know that between the success that the offensive line has had, and Sam Elliott doing a great job running the football, and Colin Rowland doing a great job blocking up front at the fullback position. But, the Crusaders just have to continue to improve in the passing game, which last week was a good step forward for the Crusaders. Didn't get it to as many different guys, but it was still a pretty efficient night for Bradley, and that's good to see.
Well, Bo Van Bruggen, who will be playing big tackle tonight, of course, the typical starting tight end, talked about that learning curve with a new group of wide receivers and how that process has gone so far this season.
Yeah, it's definitely new for me because my whole high school career I've just been blocking and blocking and blocking, and this year's been my first year where they've split me out and they've let me run routes and stuff. So that learning curve is happening, and I think we'll be there soon.
I love the attitude of that group up front, though. They really approach it as a family unit, and obviously communication is key there. We talked to Jackson Childs this week about that and just how they come together and play as a family, as one unit.
I feel like as my first year on varsity, we're coming together as a family, as a solid unit, and I just feel like they're my brothers, and I wouldn't let them down.
Well, probably the area, Christopher, where communication is most important on the field is that offensive line with the combo blocking and all of the things that you have to do you really have to be on the same page.
Yeah, because it's really common for a defensive front, whether you're playing an odd man or an even man front, for the defensive lineman to stunt, where they maybe line up in this gap to begin with, but then right before the snap, move to another gap. And so there has to be so many adjustments that are made on the fly, because the guy next to you got to know who he's going to go a block based on where the alignment is. And, defenses want to camouflage where they're going to be bringing the pressure from. And so there has to be just a lot of, knowing that the guy next to you is going to do his job. For that O-line to be successful.
The Black Knight defense has held 3 of 5 opponents this year under 60 yards rushing, 55 last week against McPherson, a group that is having a ton of fun and a ton of success on the field. And Bo Van Bruggen, easy for me to say 3 times fast, talked about that.
I mean, it's a ton of fun in practice and everything, knowing that I'm going to play next to James and Ryan and all those other guys, and Dalen and Jarrett. I mean, all the stunts and stuff we run, it's a ton of fun to practice with those guys, and they're a lot of fun to play with.
And you can see that on the field. Blick with 2 tackles. Of course, as we mentioned, not suited up tonight. Those linebackers really playing well. I thought Sam Elliott was fantastic. Last Friday led the team in tackles.
Yeah, Sam showed that he's not just a tailback last week with how physical he was up front. And I know Tyler, we talked about, he used some of those wrestling skills, a lot of good form tackles, and just he does such a good job of coming in low.
So, yeah, what we get taught in wrestling is you got to come in low, just great posture, and that's what he did. Went for the legs instead of staying up high, because if you go up high, you die. So what he did was well.
If you go up high, you get yelled at. That's basically what ends up happening. Well, looking forward to tonight. We'll break down our Week 7 opponent in Wellington coming up. This rivalry that goes all the way back to the early days of the Chisholm Trail League in Central Kansas. First played each other back in 1970. Crusader football tonight, brought to you in part by HCU Investment and Insurance Services, by Newfelt's Flooring, Mid-Kansas Credit Union, by Idea Tech, and by Phoenix Restoration. Back with more of our pregame after this on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
To the Midway Motors Drive to the Game. Visit Midway Motors on 30th Street in Hutchinson or online at midwaymotors.com. Coming up this day in Crusader history as the Midway Motors Drive to the Game continues on HKFM.
Game day is a big deal in our house. We don't just go to watch and cheer, we live and breathe it. Our squad is full of passion, snacks, and spirit, and we needed a car that could do more than transport us. We needed to participate with us. Midway Motors helped us find the winning ride from pre-gaming to post-game celebrations and everything in between. Midway Motors, for every mile of life. Find your game day car at midwaymotors.com.
Come visit us at Bueller Dental Care. Our friendly and experienced staff is here to help give you the best care around, and we like to have some fun and get to know you while you spend time with us. From regular fillings, cleanings, dental implants, or even if we have to, extractions, we can provide the treatments you need. We are always accepting new patients, so be sure to call us at 620-543-2768 to schedule your next appointment, or email online at drdalds@gmail.com. Bueller Dental Care, providing healthy smiles with a gentle touch.
Hutch Rec is your community recreation provider. We're passionate in bringing healthy living opportunities through our youth and adult sports, wellness and fitness classes, and several of our community events and races. We're also your community spirit provider, offering endless recreational opportunities at Dillon Nature Center, Senior Center at Elmdale Park, the Sports Arena, plus Hutch Rec downtown. See all of the community spirit and healthy living opportunities Hutch Rec provides your community at hutchrec.com and on our Hutch Rec Facebook page.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
And welcome back. Our Midway Motors Drive to the Game live from Crusader Stadium tonight. Time for our This Day in Crusader History. We'll take you way back to October the 16th of 1959. Back in the days when Bueller was a lot smaller than they are today. They played Burton at home and won 58-14. The team that night rushed for 488 yards. That is the 7th most in school history. They finished 7-1 that year under head coach Vern Hendrickson, who was the second winningest coach in school history behind Steve Warner. And they finished second in the Mid-Kansas League that year to Haven. The Wildcats won the league in 1959. The school record, by the way, for rushing is a whole ton. Any idea how many? It's a lot.
Ooh.
590.
I was going to say, that's, to be a school record in rushing, and with the tradition Bueller has of running the football, that's pretty impressive.
It was set back in 2009 against Andover.
Well, you mentioned Burton, of course. Got to give a little tip of the cap to the Chargers down the way as they qualified for the 6-man playoffs and are heading out to Bird City on Tuesday night.
Yeah, they had not won a game in over 2 years, I believe, and they finally punched through and won one this year. So,
yep, so happy for the kids down at Burton, and as well as head coach C.T. Young. He's former head coach at Prairie, one of the really good guys in the high school coaching ranks. And, best luck to our brethren in maroon heading out to Northwest Kansas.
Bueller coming in at 3-1 in the league, second behind McPherson at 3-0, El Dorado 1-1, Augusta 2-2, Circle 0-2, Winfield 0-3. Crusaders 3-2 overall, and solidly in that third place in the West standings to be the number 3 seed. They are still mathematically alive for the number 2 seed, but they're going to need some help from Andover tonight and then again next week to accomplish that.
Yeah, but I tell you what, Andover and Andover Central, in that hardcore rivalry game, you never know what could happen, and I could see the Trojans defeating the Jaguars tonight.
The Wellington Crusaders just 1-5. They are 0-4 in Division IV of the Ark Valley Chisholm Trail. They finished 2-7 last season and just one winning season in the last 5. Very stark contrast here, Christopher. If you look what Lim Hibbs did in his 15 years there, from 1996 to 2010, he averaged 8 wins a season and won 2 state championships, which is, for any coaches, those are Hall of Fame numbers. But then in the last 10 years, they've averaged 3.5 wins under 3 different coaches. So takes the right guy. You got to get the kids to buy in, and they just have not been able to find that guy since Coach Hibbs left.
Yeah, and I'm surprised you didn't mention, Aaron, with Wellington being your alma mater, about the big streak that Wellington had. It was the longest consecutive years of making the playoffs, correct?
Yeah, and I guess technically that doesn't exist anymore because everybody makes the playoffs unless you're one of those old school guys who doesn't count Week 9
yep.
as a playoff game. But for the longest time, they had in all classes in Kansas, they had the longest playoff streak of 20-some years, so it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, Coach Hibbs had, a well-oiled machine built up down there at Wellington. And, it's interesting, though, there's still some remnants of that old tradition at Wellington, and Coach Warner talked about it in kind of preparing for Wellington this week. Wellington was always known as being a very smash-mouth, very physical team, and even in their down years, Wellington still always seems like they've got some kids that can hit. And, you got to come to play against Wellington.
And they've played a tough schedule. Their 5 losses this year, those teams are a combined 22-7, including Andale and Collegiate that are both undefeated. They lost an overtime battle to Clearwater back in Week 1, and then a late touchdown by Rose Hill beat them just a couple of weeks ago, 28-20. They're going to throw a little bit of everything at Bueller offensively tonight. 64% run, 36% pass. But when I say everything but the kitchen sink, I mean it. They might even bring the kitchen sink tonight. You're going to see a lot of different formations, from spread to pistol to flex, a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, and what that does, Coach Coles, that makes it a little bit more difficult to prepare because you can't just say, okay, here's the formations they're going to run, and this is what they're going to run out of. And when you have to prepare for lots of different formations, it makes just that prep work that much more difficult.
Berkeley Wright is their second-year starting quarterback. He'll use as many as 6 different wide receivers behind a big offensive line tonight. Wright played in that playoff loss to Bueller last year. Back in November here, Bueller won that game 19-7. Wright was 6 of 16 for 47 yards. Wellington has been a scrappy defense, a 4-3 defense. A lot of youth on that side of the ball for them, though, this year. 3 sophomores and 2 junior starters. They've played Bueller tough the last 2 years, holding them under 20 points in both games. So I expect them to come out of here with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, Wellington's very comfortable in a low-scoring, defensive, physical game. So that's going to be kind of one of the important things for the Crusaders, to try to get some separation on Wellington and not let this be a low-scoring, low-possession game.
Yeah, Wellington has scored some points this year, 26 a game, but they give up almost 40. Compare that to Bueller's 25 points a game on offense, but just 19 on defense. Credit that front group, and really shutting down the run has kept those score totals low. Crusader football tonight brought to you in part by Jackson Meat, by Risa Prino Prevention Network, by the Medicine Shop, by Wade Patton Insurance, and by Rod's Tire and Service, and also by HCU Investment and Insurance Services, proud sponsor of tonight's Armored Up segment with defensive coordinator Coach Coles. Just like a good defensive game plan, key to protecting the lead on the field, HCU knows the importance of protecting your future financially. Call Monty Cross at 669-0177 as Coach Coles joins us now to talk about things in that Black Knight defense as they get ready for Wellington tonight.
The football season, just a couple of weeks left. Really quickly, just kind of an overall health check of your defense, where things are at and where you're still trying to get better.
Fundamentals, everything back to our fundamentals. Then we're gonna play better, and that goes from from the two techs all the way back to the safeties. If we focus on those fundamentals, we'll continue to get better. Tackling, I thought we improved in our tackling this week. Going into McPherson, it was a big focus. We played those two downhill run teams fairly well, but at the same time, we thought that it showed us that we needed to do some things in practice to improve our tackling. So I thought we've tackled better. We're still working on, our coverage in the secondary. DBs, we've got some kids who this means a lot to them, and they get really frustrated when they don't play well or they don't make plays, and they really are pushing to get better. Get better with every snap is, one of the things that we repeat over and over again. But you have to have a short memory. And I talked about this with one of the kids yesterday. When a play happens and you get coached up and you figure out what it is you need to do better, that's all you can take into the next play. Once again, front seven all the way through the secondary, that's how you have to play in football. But DBs especially, because it's just you're out on an island sometime. And they're doing well. They're improving. Every snap, every week, every game, we get better, and that's all we can ask out of them.
You did give up the big plays versus Mac, but held them to just 18 points. So, what do you attribute that to? How much of it can be attributed to the fact that they really couldn't run the football successfully?
I think it had a big role in it. That is one place where I thought that the DBs played extremely well, was in the run game, the run support, and then obviously the front seven did a good job with that. I think they had 55 yards rushing, and they are a really, really balanced team. You take out 3 of the pass plays, 2 of which we were in pretty good coverage. I think it did help, that it always helps if you can't run the ball, and to make a team one-dimensional. We just got to, try to eliminate the big plays. And, even on one of the big pass plays, it was a crossing route, which is really difficult for a safety or a corner to stay with all the way across the field. There were times where that completion would have been a touchdown, and Deontay didn't give up on it, and he ended up, making the tackle at the, I think about the 30-yard line. So even on some of those plays that we didn't want to give up, we did some good things.
Play a Wellington team this week that's really not married to any one style of offense. They're going to throw a little bit of everything, including the kitchen sink at you. So
yeah, they run such a variety of set. They run some shotgun sets, some pistol. They run eye. They've gone with a tight end. They've gone with spread. They've run, no back. They've run a couple of different 3 running backs who have looked good. They've spread it out among different receivers. Once again, going back to the fundamentals. If we can play fundamental Black Knight football, we'll be prepared for whatever they come out in. We anticipate them trying to run the ball early, but with what we've seen in film, they've got those other things to go to.
I was going to say, sounds cliche. We talk about it all the time. It really does come back down to reading your keys as a defender and being where you're supposed to be. So.
Yep, it really does. Like I said, going right back to the basics. If you fly the ball, then good things will definitely happen.
All right, Coach, we appreciate your time. Best of luck on the field, and have a great weekend.
All right, thank you very much.
That is Coach Coles as we armor up our defensive segment tonight. More of our pregame right after this.
The Midway Motors Drive to the Game continues after this. Still to come, we'll take you around the league with a look at other action in the AVCTL. And Chris Shank brings you tonight's keys to the game. The Midway Motors Drive to the Game on HKFM.
As school kicks into high gear, Rise Up Reno wants to remind parents that daily conversations can have a lasting impact. An alarming number of preteens are already consuming alcoholic beverages. According to KCTC data, 24% of sixth graders in Reno County have drank more than just a few sips of alcohol. Youth who drink are more likely to use drugs, get poor grades, make bad decisions, and have health problems. Help protect your children by having conversations about the dangers of drinking. Talk, they hear you. Visit riseupreno.org for more information.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Oh, hi, everybody. Welcome back. Our Midway Motors drive to the game. Coach Steve Warner being recognized tonight. Earlier this season, he got his 250th win as a head coach all time. And I see a ton of his family down there, so congratulations to Coach. And, boy, it's been quite a ride since 2006 here. And, of course, he is not only at 250 all time, well, more than that now at 252, but he is the winningest coach in Bueller football history at 131 and 39. So I see the boys down there and his grandchildren. Of course, just had a new grandchild in baby Dane not too long ago. So congratulations to the family, and pretty cool to see Brielle is there, and I think pretty much all of them. And somebody said he had family tuning in from other parts of the country too. So
we were told that the one we know is that we got his sisters tuning in from Idaho.
All right, welcome from Idaho to Crusader football tonight. Really quickly, before we get to comments from Coach Warner, our kickoff conditions tonight brought to you by Phoenix Restoration, the company most trusted to deliver quality recovery services when disaster strikes. Call 662-0100, Tyler, and maybe the coldest night of football we've had, that wind picking up as well.
So right now we got the feel of right now 61. It could get as low as 52, but the wind chill will make it colder. Then you got right now humidity at 23%, and then the wind speed will gust at south of 14 miles an hour at the most.
Tyler Adams, who has aspirations of being a meteorologist, pulling out the humidity and the wind speed there. Thanks, buddy. Our kickoff conditions. We'll talk to Coach Warner next. Get you ready for Crusader football here on the Midway Motors drive of the game on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Midway Motors drive to the game. Midway Motors, come join the family. Next, we hear the pregame thoughts of head coach Steve Warner as the Midway Motors drive to the game continues on HKFM.
Game day is a big deal in our house. We don't just go to watch and cheer, we live and breathe it. Our squad is full of passion, snacks, and spirit, and we needed a car that could do more than transport us and needed to participate with us. Midway Motors helped us find the winning ride from pre-gaming to post-game celebrations and everything in between. Midway Motors, for every mile of life. Find your game day car at midwaymotors.com.
Well, welcome back on our Midway Motors drive to the game. Week 7 feels good as we bring in Coach Steve Warner. Our pregame thoughts. Feels good to be back at home finally, Coach.
Oh, I can't believe we're finally at home and perfect night for football.
Yeah, absolutely. You get a tough team in Wellington, although their record says they're 1-5, and they've played some really good teams. They're a really physical team. They've held us to 19 and 14 points in each of our last 2 meetings, so we know they're going to play us tough.
We know they're going to play tough. They're going to play hard, and we've got to be ready to go. And that's what I've been preaching all week long. We can't overlook these guys just because of their record. Don't even think about it. Watch the film, in which the kids do. They've got size, and they've got athletes. We've got to be ready to go.
These last 2 games, obviously, you take it a game at a time, but both games are very important, as you mentioned, for your team to get better and for your positioning in the postseason.
Very important for the positioning, for both those things you said. But the positioning, we want to be the 3rd seed. We went out and we'll be the 3rd seed, and we went out. I think we're going to continue to improve. I've seen an improvement in practice. I just love the effort of the kids, love the attitude of the kids, and we just got to keep working hard, and good things are going to happen to us.
They're going to throw a lot of different things at you, a lot of different looks offensively, and that should be a good test for your kids to we talk about reading the keys all the time, but to do that in-game action.
Well, that's for sure, and we work on it all the time, and that helps us get to the football where we need to be defensively. And, again, the physical style of play, they're going to run right at us, and they're going to spread out the field. They're going to throw the ball, so we'll just have to be ready to stop it all.
Where do you feel like things are at for you offensively? Some things that I know we've talked about the passing game getting better, but here in Week 7, some 2 or 3 things you're like, these are still things that we've got to improve on for the postseason?
Well, both. The same thing that we kind of started with our running game. We have to be more consistent, and we need to have long, sustained drives and finish those drives. It's happened to us at Goddard. It happened to us at McPherson, finishing our drives. Defensively, we still have to work on our D-backs. Getting pressure on the quarterback will help that. But, I mentioned in our show on Monday that we were a step away, and if we got to get closer, and we want to be right on and be locked down, cover guys, and we're close to that. So the weeks keep passing by, but I also see the improvement that I say all the time, because we do, defensively we had 2 starters back. I know I've said that several times, but it's a reality. But we're now getting towards the end of the year. It's time to say this is our team, and we got to get going.
I think eventually at some point we're going to get into some more football-like weather too. It's been pretty warm.
It's been pretty warm, definitely, and tonight's going to be perfect.
Absolutely, looking forward to it. And Wellington team with long history dating back to 1970. They've had a long-standing tradition there, always a really good team, and a team that you guys have played a lot over the years that you got your first win at Bueller against. So a lot of respect for them.
A lot of respect for that program. I played them when I was in Marysville, played them when I was in high school, and Wellington's always been tough, and again, tough kids, a tough community that raises tough football players.
All right, well, we look forward to the game. Coach, best of luck on the field. We'll talk to you afterwards.
Thank you.
That is Coach Steve Warner with us, back with more of our pregame right after this.
You've been listening to the Midway Motors Drive to the Game. Join head coach Steve Warner for the Crusader Coaches Show, Monday nights at 6:30. The first half kickoff is coming up next. You're listening to Bueller Crusader Football on HKFM.
From their beginnings in 1989, Wifco Steel Products has grown to be the premier supplier of storage tank hardware in the U.S. and Canada, and they're still growing. Apply today at wifcosp.com. Wifco Steel Products, the experts in steel fabrication.
Bueller Crusader Football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
All right, the Wellington Crusaders have won the toss, Christopher. They will receive Bueller defending the south end zone here in the first quarter. Real quickly, let's get to your keys to the game.
All right, 3 major keys for tonight's win for Bueller. Number 1, we got to stop the passing game of Burke Wright. He's had quite a few successful games. He went 11 of 16 versus Andale, which is one of the powers in 3A. Number 2, blocking Kenny Furman. He's 6'2", 270. He's a tough guy. Coach Warner talked all week about blocking him. It's going to be really important for us to have success running the football. And I think the number 1 thing in a game where Wellington's maybe a little bit undermanned versus us, no turnovers tonight. If the Crusaders can limit turnovers, I like our chances.
All right, Cody Weiscarver set to kick from the 40. We are underway. Crusader football here on 95.9 HKFM, the Ad Astra Radio app, and the Crusader Sports Network. A short return to the 31-yard line for the Wellington Crusaders. That is where they will start on offense for the first time tonight. A return by senior Trenton Bannister. Berkeley Wright, the 2-year starting quarterback. He is a senior, played in that playoff loss against Bueller here 1 year ago. We'll see Dustin Shetler and Michael Collins in the backfield, and a bevy, as many as 6 wide receivers tonight, including Bannister, one of the starters who just returned that kickoff to the 32-yard line. That is where Wellington will start. Right to left, 1st and 10. They line up a running play on first down to the big, tall Dustin Shetler, the junior, at 185. A run it forward across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Wellington rode white tops, silver pants with the red striping and the red letters tonight. Home maroon tops, black pants, matte black helmets, and white lettering for the Bueller Crusaders. A gain of 5 for Dustin Shetler. It'll be 2nd down and 5 from the 36. They stay in the eye and up the middle. Trying to get a surge from that big offensive line. Forward progress to the 38. So 2 more is going to set up a 3rd down and 3 here. We mentioned the size of that Wellington line up front. They average across the front 5, 247 pounds. And I didn't see a lot of eye on film from them, but I told you they're going to bring everything tonight.
Yeah, they are going to give us a multiple look at receivers so far. They've come out eye. Now they go double wing.
2 wings, kind of that familiar flex look that we've seen this year. They throw out of that right to the tight end of the far side. Dropped at the 40. Not able to haul in the ball for the Wellington Crusaders is Jace Barton. That is incomplete. First pass of the night for Berkeley Wright for not, and it brings up 4th down.
Yeah, but a flag out. It's going to be pass interference as Levi Perez hit him right before the ball got there. Got to time it just a little bit better, so that penalty is going to give Wellington their first down of the night.
Well, something we saw last week that I thought might be a key here going forward tonight, and that is getting off the field on third down. Bueller allowed McPherson to complete 62% of their third down plays last week in that win. So you get to third down as a defense, you got to get off the field. That pushes the ball, the penalty, into Wellington territory, or into Bueller territory, at the 47-yard line. Wellington single back set going right to left.
Ball.
It is Shetler, ball loose, and I believe Wellington might have it at the 41-yard line. That ball squirted forward. Let's see what the call is.
I'm sorry, Aaron, I've spent too many years on the sideline where I see that ball come out and you just start yelling ball, but unfortunately for the Crusaders, it was Cope Henry that fell on it for Wellington to keep possession for the Crusaders in white and red.
Shetler doesn't fumble. He probably only has 3 yards, and the ball rolled forward for another 3. Gain of 6, second down and 4, straight ahead. And a quarterback sneak this time, close to another first down at the 36-yard line. That'll move the chains. So already 2 first downs, 1 via penalty on this series for Wellington as they move into Bueller territory. Going right to left toward the south end zone here at Crusader Stadium. 9:58 to play in the first quarter. It is 1st and 10 with no score. They put right out of the shotgun. Single receivers either side. Wants to throw near side and incomplete. Intended for Cope Henry, the sophomore receiver at the 30-yard line, threw behind him. It'll be second down.
And great coverage that time by Mason Lipford. Lipford really got better as the game went on against McPherson. He was dealing with some giant receivers last week. In the first half, they kind of got the best of him, but then he really matched up the physicality and shut him down in the second half.
I mentioned James Blick not out there tonight, not starting. And that is swapped some things around on the defensive line. Shetler breaks out of a tackle at the 30, 20, 10. And he's going to be down there. Actually, they'll mark the knee down at the 11-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. A big run for Shetler from the 36 to the 11 on second down.
Wellington going tempo.
Give him 25 yards, no huddle. They'll line right back up and smash mouth up the middle, a gain a yard to the 10-yard line. It'll be second down and 9 from there. I do know that Bo Van Bruggen, because he's moved to the offensive line tonight, he's also changed numbers, wearing 75 out there on the field instead of his normal 40. Something to keep in mind tonight.
And Marcus Voss getting a look at D tackle, filling in for Blick.
Second down and 9, clock running, 9 minutes to go in the first, no score, single back set. Rolling out his right to pass to the right. Good coverage in the end zone. Wright will scramble with it inside the 5, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds right near the 5-yard line. They'll mark him out at the 4. It'll be third down from there. They need to get to the 1 for a first down.
Yeah, about a 5 or 6 yard pickup there for Wright. And you talked about it in the pregame, Aaron. The Crusaders last week gave up a lot of yards but didn't yield many points. Let's see if the Black Knights can stymie him here.
I was watching the near side official who marked it at the 4. He did not give him a good spot. Almost all the way back to the 6.
Yeah, we will take it. Yeah, the dial marker, dial it down, is back at the 6, like you said.
So it'll be third down from here. Third and about 5.
Wellington has yet to complete a pass tonight. They might try to look to get Berkeley Wright rolling on the edge and have a run-pass option.
They line up in the pistol this time with 2 receivers to the right side. High snap. Wright will hand it off straight up the middle and nothing there. No gain on the play at the 6-yard line. It's going to be fourth down from there. It is Wellington elect to try the field goal, or will they go for it on fourth down? Their head coach, Zane Aguiar, is in his 5th season with a record of 16-29. He was a Wellington grad in 02. He was part of their back-to-back state championship teams in 2001 and 2002. Clock is running here at 8:30 to play in the first, and a 4th and 4. They need to get to the 1-yard line for a first down. They're going to go for it. Clock down to 10 seconds. And a 4 wide receiver look. Berkeley Wright out of the gun and trying for the hard count maybe, and now they call it timeout. Timeout of Wellington, 8:16 to play in the first. No score here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Your experts in design and installation of carpet, tile, wood, and vinyl floor covering. Proudly sponsoring Bueller High School activities, Newfeld's Flooring in downtown Bueller.
Erickson Custom Building has a great plan and a budget suited for your needs. Whether it's a new build, a remodel of a kitchen, interior, exterior, or an insurance restoration project, Erickson Custom Building provides quality craftsmanship and superior customer service. We stand behind our work and have lasting relationships with vendors, suppliers, and most importantly, with you, the customer. Erickson Custom Building, proud to support all high school activities. Call 620-585-2816 or visit EricksonCustomBLDG.com.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Well, up front for the Black Knights tonight, Jared Christensen, Bo Van Bruggen, Dalen Coffey. We mentioned Marcus Voss getting a look with Blick out tonight. Elliott, Rowland, and Tuschin, the linebackers. Campbell, Perez, and Lipford in the secondary. 4th and 4 from the 6-yard line for the Wellington Crusaders. And Wright back to pass, now nowhere to go. Scrambling to the edge, and he'll be knocked out of bounds at the 5. It's going to be a turnover on down. So really that penalty earlier in the series by Bueller. Huge aid got Wellington that first down, but they're able to go 10 plays all the way down to the 5-yard line and come up empty.
Great pursuit that time by Colin Rowland as he was right there in the flat. Burke Wright, a big body quarterback, and he's a guy that if he gets anywhere inside the 3, he's probably got enough steam that he can bully over. So great play made that time by Colin.
And who was that broke through the line initially? Because was that Bo or was that Colin?
I think it was Bo.
Because Bo, when he broke through the line, that already caused disruption for the quarterback.
Bueller from their own 5 will have it on offense for the first time tonight. They run straight ahead. Bradley Neal hands it off. The junior quarterback completing 41% of his passes, threw for over 100 yards for the second time this season last week. And Sam Elliott, who's had just a fantastic 4 weeks, forward to the 9 for a gain of 4 on the first down. Sam Elliott closing in on 2,000 career yards. He came into tonight needing 22 to get to 1,000 for this season. 2nd down and 6 at the 9-yard line. They'll put Dalen Coffey in motion here, the wingback. They hand it off far side. Sam Elliott breaks out of a couple of tackles and forward progress up to the 20-yard line. That is a gain of 11 for Speedy Sam. He went for a 135 against McPherson last week. He's got Colin Rowland, his buddy at fullback in the backfield. Receivers McCurdy, Coffey, and Ryan Henderson getting the start tonight at tight end.
Well, you mentioned he just needed 22 yards to get to the 1,000 mark. He already has 19, so he's about a carry away from being a 1,000-yard rusher.
And move the chains. It'll be 1st down and 10 with that carry. No score, 7-9 to play in the first. And Brad's going to keep it. Option right across the 25 to the 27-yard line. That is not very often that we see Bradley call his own number there, but forward progress of 7. Nice play on that inside carry by the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, the whole entire world is going to be keying on where number 20 goes. So any success that Bradley can have, or Colin Rowland for that matter, it just helps take a little bit of that pressure off Sam.
Bueller breaks out of the huddle with 20 on the play clock here. 2nd and 2 at the 38. 6:38 to play in the first and no score. Single receivers either side of the I formation. Brad to throw, one-on-one near side looking for Brock McCurdy. Incomplete in Wellington territory at the 45-yard line for Wellington. They had single coverage on this near side on Brock McCurdy. That was Jack Wright, the sophomore. That offensive line, a different look tonight for Bueller. On the quick side, Jackson Childs and Gabe Barnes. Corey Gilbert, the center. Jarrett Christensen, the big guard. And then the big tackle, we mentioned Trevor Cooper. Broken foot out for the year. Bo Van Bruggen starting at quick tackle. First pass of the night attempted by Brad Neal, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 3 at the 26. I heard you get a little nervous when that pass went up. Here's Brad out of the gun. Sweep play, the jet sweep to the near side. And they're going to tackle in the backfield. That is Cameron Campbell on the carry for a loss. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, so Bueller tries to mix it up that time, but Wellington's defense did a nice job staying at home. Making the tackle in the flat was Jace Barton, 165-pound junior. So unfortunately, the Crusaders will be forced to punt away on their first possession of the night.
They're trying to find ways to utilize the speed of guys like Cameron, and not able to get to the edge that time as Jeffrey Neal, the freshman kicker, will come on to punt on a 4th and 7. Jeff has had a great right leg this year, gets it high in the air, drives the return man back across the 40 to the 38. Across the 45-yard line goes Trenton Bannister, and he'll return it up to the 48. That is where Wellington will start their second series on offense here, 1st and 10.
Nice special teams tackle made that time by Levi Atherton. He made the tackle on the kickoff to begin the game. As Carson Bueller came flying down the field, he looked like a runaway train. If he would have been able to connect, he would have had a big shot, but the return man was able to slide away.
Well, it was good awareness by Bannister to know where Carson Bueller was, because if he would have hesitated just a little bit, he would have gotten clobbered like Darren Sproles did several years ago.
You'd figure a baseball kid like that would hit the target, right? I mean, 5:44 to play here in the first and no score. Wellington lines up with two backs in the backfield right out of the gun, and it's their big tailback, Dustin Shetler, the team captain at 185, who pounds it forward. And what we're seeing here early from Wellington, Christopher, is a lot of physical right at the line of scrimmage football. That's a gain of 3 to the 45.
Yeah, I mean, Wellington running it right into the teeth of the Bueller defense now as we say that they try the edge.
Yeah, a new back in there for the Crusaders. That is Trace Ruske, senior, trying to get to the outside, and he's upended for no gain at the 45.
Well, there's an old adage, if you're dealing with a good, fast defense, the best thing to do is run right at them, because if you try to run side to side, that really helps them pursuit angle take you out.
And like that, Levi Perez, he ended up giving them a loss of yardage right there. And with his tall stature, he ended up tackling him with his legs.
3rd down and 3. They're going to try the quarterback sneak up the middle. It's going to be very close. It will be enough for a first down. Got a great surge that time by that big offensive line. Forward progress to the 41. Well, I came into tonight feeling like this was going to be a better Wellington team than 1-5, and we're seeing that early, although they came up empty on their first series. And you saw it there with just the physicalness of that front five up front, moving the line of scrimmage in the first down marker to the 41. 1st and 10, Wellington and Bueller territory, right to left. They go back on the ground. Rusk trying to sneak under on the left side, and he falls down at the 40 for a gain of 1. That is a yard play to the 40-yard line. Clock quickly with all the running that's going on now. Christopher, down to just 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, this quarter is flying. No scoring has taken place. So that's another reason the clock continues to roll. And Wellington, just with a heavy dose of running the football, neither squad has completed a pass tonight.
2nd down and 9 at the 40 after a gain of 1. Wellington, long time in the huddle, and 10 on the play clock as they come to the line of scrimmage. Wright has two backs in the backfield. And play action, looking to pass far side and throws high. Had a guy open over there, but threw it well high and incomplete near the 30-yard line, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. It's always tough, you know, if you pass on 1st down and it's incomplete, you've got 2 more downs to make that yardage up. 2nd and long and an incompletion puts you in a tough spot in 3rd down.
Yeah, I mean, I love to throw on 1st down because you have a couple more cracks at it. But, yeah, that incompletion there, 3rd and 9, feels so much different, and it limits you play calling-wise, what you can do versus a 3rd and under 5.
And with the record, them being 1-5, last year they were 3-5 and still gave them 3 seed the Crusaders, a 19-7 finish. So it looked like that their 3-5 record last year, they could stand a chance with the good teams.
All right, 3rd and 9 here from the 40-yard line. Berkeley Wright wanting to throw, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield. Bo Van Bruggen gets there, back across the 50, and all the way to the 48-yard line. A huge play on 3rd down for the Black Knights.
That was the first negative play either squad has had tonight. A huge time for it to happen as Wellington had that 3rd and long. Now they have 4th and an eternity, and Wellington's going to be forced to punt away for the first time this evening.
And that's like the 3rd time Bo is breaking through that front line of Wellington, but this is the first time that he's gotten to
yeah, lost to 12 yards and a punt here, low line drive punt by Cope Henry for Wellington. And it's going to travel out of bounds in the Bueller sideline just to the other side of the 30. Bueller's going to have decent field position here near the 29-yard line. I mentioned it, Christopher, getting off the field on 3rd down, so important as you get late into the season in the playoffs against good opponents.
Yeah, I mean, Bueller has done a pretty good job this season limiting their opponents to, about 49% on 3rd down conversion. They've got to get better as the year progresses.
Crusaders from their own 28, 1st and 10. Single back set, Sam Elliott running off tackle left side. And gets across the 30 to the 31. That'll be a gain of 2 on 1st down for the junior tailback, who was really hitting his stride coming into the second half of his second year as a starter. And now over 1,000 yards on the season. Just crazy numbers. Averaging 8 yards a carry is Sam Elliott here in 2020. 2nd and 8 after 2 at the 21. Clock running down to 2:30 to go in the quarter. Ryan Henderson in at quarterback, takes the snap and running across the 40. First down up to the 45-yard line. We saw Coach throw in that wrinkle last week for the first time this season in utilizing Ryan at quarterback in those running plays, and shows how tough of a runner he is.
Well, he's such a physical runner, and he's got that big body, so when he keeps it on the option, if you're an outside linebacker and you see Ryan Henderson coming downfield at you, it's a little bit spooky.
Well, his longest carry of the season goes for 14 yards. 1st and 10, 45, left hash mark. Bueller left to right. Right out of the shotgun. Rhino still in there. Boy, flag out. That could be holding in the backfield. Henderson nowhere to go that time.
Yeah, got submarined on the near side. Jace Barton in with another stop. Barton, he's having a nice night defensively for Wellington so far.
Absolutely being pursued there by Barton, 165, a junior, flag out. Bueller already with 1 penalty tonight in the game. They came in averaging close to 2.5 penalties, 25 yards a game. Their opponents have been up near 6 penalties contest on the season and nearly 50 yards. But that is going to go against the Crusaders. Their 2nd of the night. A holding penalty that's going to mark them back to the 35-yard line.
Well, if you're a glass half full kind of guy, at least it happened on first downs. The Crusaders have 3 cracks to try to gain these 20 yards back.
Well, missing Trevor Cooper out there, and some changes on the offensive line this week. Obviously, still trying to work through that. As Brad Neal is back in there, out of the gun. They'll hand it off on 1st and 20, and forward progress of 2 yards on the left side for Sam Elliott.
Yeah, the entire Wellington defense just completely keying off of wherever Sam Elliott goes.
And that's what the Wellington defense needs to do, is tackle as a group for Sam Elliott, because with his low center of gravity, it's tough for just one singular defender to tackle him.
2nd down and 18 at the 47. Brock McCurdy and Colin Rowland. So they're going to put Rowland in motion to the far side. McCurdy, the lone receiver near side. 2 receivers far side. Neal out of the gun, wants to throw to Brock over the middle, caught inside the 45, spin move. A good catch over the middle by the junior receiver to the 48. That's going to set up about a 3rd and 7 here.
I love the play call that time. They brought Sam Elliott out on a little swing route, and so it really forced the corner here on the near side, Jack Wright. He was looking for Sam coming out in the flat, and he really kind of had to pick his poison. Do I let Brock go, or do I go up at Sam? And just that hesitation gave enough separation for the completion.
So a big 3rd and 7, 42 seconds on the first quarter clock here in a 0-0 game. Brad Neal out of the gun. 3 wide receivers set. Brad sets his feet in the pocket, now being pursued to the near edge, is going to take off with it at the 50, 45, first down, 40-yard line. I feel like Brad Neal is picking up what I've been putting down, wanting to see him run the football more, and having success on his 2nd carry of the night, picks up a big first down.
Well, Bradley Neal using his legs like he did right there is actually going to help him out in the passing game, because the more those DBs have to worry about him just tucking the ball and running, the more it's going to make it difficult for them to maintain their coverage for those long extended plays.
In that one play, Brad, more rushing yards than he had all last week. 13 on the carry, of first down into Wellington territory. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 39. Henderson, who tight end, lines up on the left side. It'll be Elliott, the tailback. Handoff. Nice power move forward all the way down to the 31-yard line. 8 more yards for Sam the man as the clock rolls inside 13 seconds. And in all likelihood, the final play of the first quarter.
Well, it's interesting how much Bueller, having some success throwing the football, has already opened up the running game.
Crusaders will not get another snap off before the clock rolls 0. Zeros across the scoreboard right now, but Bueller driving, trying to punch on top first. They'll have a 2nd and 2 when we come back to start the second quarter. You're listening to Crusader Football on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
H&R Block, we're here all year at tax time or anytime to help get answers for your tax questions. Stop by H&R Block in Hutch at 2nd and Washington, on the Square in Lyons, or in downtown Ellsworth today. Get your taxes won at H&R Block.
Mid-Kansas Credit Union, serving Central Kansas from their locations in Moundridge and Bueller.
Take control of your accounts and sign up for online banking at mkcu.com with features like remote capture deposit and online bill pay. Member owned and proudly supporting Crusader arts, athletics, and academics. Mid-Kansas Credit Union at 200 West 2nd in Bueller and in Mount Ridge. Member NCUA.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Second quarter coming up in a 0-0 game. Bueller in their second drive of the night has a second and two rather at the 31-yard line. And they'll head toward the south end zone here in the second quarter. A lot of action around the league tonight. Andover and Andover Central is a key game that we'll try and get an update for you on our Bueller Dental Care scoreboard. Augusta at Abilene, Mac is at Mulvane, Circle at El Dorado, Valley Center at Arc City, Wellington here at Bueller, Winfield at Roseau, Clearwater at Andale, and Collegiate at Halstead. Second and two in the I formation. And play action. Brad Neal wants to throw, looking for his fullback on the near side and batted down, incomplete. Well, I guess when you're big and tall like Dustin Shetler, you just reach up and slap that down, incomplete.
Yeah, it was a well-thrown ball. Brad just kind of lofted it to Roland here on the near side, but Shetler did a nice job of just getting airborne and going up and reaching the ball at its highest point to bat it away.
And what helped is the ball was a bit underthrown there, so Colin really didn't have a chance to get it, but Shetler did do a good job with defending that.
That stops the clock. 11:54 to go in the second, and no score. Third down and two. Right hash mark close to the 30-yard line. They'll go back to the I and go back to the ground with Sam Elliott up the middle across the 25 to the 20 and surging forward down to about the 18-yard line. First and 10. Bueller in the red zone for the first time tonight.
Good to see Sam kind of getting warmed up as time goes on. And nice to see the offensive line. There's almost a convoy of offensive linemen downfield helping to knock those linebackers and secondary guys back into the goal line.
It'll be first and 10 at the 18. They stay in the I. Mason Lipford, the receiver, to the near side. Elliott goes off tackle right and forward to the 10-yard line. They're going to mark a knee down at the 11. So a gain of 7 for Sam on first down. Big night of football on our Ad Astra Sports Network. Inman, the Teutons looking to potentially win their district, hosting Remington tonight. Trinity Catholic likewise undefeated, ranked 4th on the season at Haven tonight. Solomon at Canton Galva, the defending 8-man champs. Central Plains at Central Christian. Elsewhere on our network on the Ad Astra Radio app. Second down and 2 at the 10-yard line. Straight ahead handoff and a first down. Progress into the end zone. Touchdown, Crusaders, and Colin Rowland gets his first score of the night.
Yeah, Colin Rowland on the fullback dive just kind of burrows his way into the Wellington defense and wheels his way to the end zone for 6.
And with always running with Sam, it's keeping the Wellington defense on the heels, not only thinking, okay, are they going to give it to Sam, but now they're handing it off to Colin. So it was a great job by the Crusaders to throw him off guard.
Second touchdown of the season for Colin Weiscarver on for the PAT. Had one hit off the upright last week. And this one goes through true. 10:49 to play in quarter number 2. Bueller on top first against Wellington. 7-0 from the Crusader Sports Network and HKFM.
Football coverage on the sports page at adastraradio.com. You're listening to Bueller Crusader Football on HKFM.
Mann, Wyatt & Rice Personal Injury Law Firm is celebrating 20 years of helping victims recover their health and lives after a serious accident. Serving Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Colorado, our success stems from valuing people over profits. We look forward to another 20 years of fighting for victims' rights. Mann, Wyatt & Rice attorneys and staff wish Bueller athletes the best of luck this season. Mann, Wyatt & Rice, trusted, experienced, compassionate.
Bueller Crusader Football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
11 plays, 72 yards in their second series of the night. Colin Rowland carries it in from 11 out to make it 7-0. Cody Weiscarver on for the extra point. Is now 33 of 43 on the season. And he's going to squib it here with the breeze up toward the south end zone. And Wellington will fall on it near the 38-yard line.
Yeah, it seems like Bannister, no matter where we kick it, it's the guy fielding it. He's their main punt returner, one of the up backs, not one of the deep men, and it goes right to him. So Bueller trying to negate Wellington for having a return there, and the Wellington Crusaders will have decent field position.
For our rankings coming into Week 7, Bishop Miege still number 1. They've got a big matchup with 5th-ranked Bishop Carroll tonight. That is in at home for Miege. Here's a straight-ahead carry, and Dustin Shetler has nowhere to go on first down, being driven back to the original line of scrimmage. They're going to call forward progress, though, for a yard to the 39.
Yeah, nice job that time by Tush in getting just a barely bit of the tailback, but able to stop him after the short gain.
So you said Bishop Miege is playing Bishop Carroll?
Battle of the Bishops.
It's on the chessboard, it's all bishops here
Lots
tonight.
of diagonal moves.
Yes.
I wonder if they've ever played each other before. Because Bishop Carroll's like, aren't they in Wichita?
Yes, sir.
Tanner Tushton on the tackle there, 2nd and 10 at the 39.
Screen.
Berkeley Wright wanting to throw the screen pass. Bueller had that well covered. Wright was being pursued in the backfield and had to throw it away. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, it was a rollout screen where he rolled out to his right to try to draw the Bueller defensive line. And the reason you run a screen is to try to use a team's team speed against him. But the nice job by the Crusader backside of the defense staying at home. Lipford was over there as well as Sam Elliott, and they were able to bat away the attempted pass. Wellington has still yet to complete a pass this evening.
Well, in the words of Buford T. Justice, Marcus Voss was in hot pursuit. 7-0 here, Bueller. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 39. 9:59 to go with the incompletion. Right to throw again, near side, 2 receivers. It's going to be caught in Bueller territory at the 49-yard line. Going up to get it. First catch of the night will be Montel Tate, and he's got some length. Went up and pulled that one down at the 48, 1st and 10.
Yeah, Tate, it was just a little sticks route. He's set up just beyond the first down line to gain and catches it and gets tackled.
There they go. Quick count here, no huddle. And right back to the ground with Dustin Shetler trying to run just enough to keep the Black Knights a little bit off guard. Forward progress to the 46. That'll be 2 yards. And Crusaders right back at it in a spread look with 4 wide receivers. 2nd down and 8. They'll put a man in motion. Trips now right. Back to the ground. Off tackle far side. Shetler 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Diving toward the pylon. He's going to be out of bounds. Inside the 5-yard line. They'll mark him out. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 3.
Well, Cope Henry was lined up as the lone wideout to the left, and he did just an excellent job of sealing the edge. His block is what really helped spring Shetler for the big run.
A 43-yard run by Dustin Shetler sets up a 1st and goal at the 3-yard line for Wellington. Now they'll go jumbo package straight ahead, and the sneak forward for a yard to the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal from there. Well, Wellington had it at the 6 earlier and came up empty. How defeating would it be if they get down here again and we stop them yet again?
Yeah, we'll see if the Crusader Black Knight defense can kind of bow their backs and keep Wellington at bay here.
And with Shetler's long run, Sam was the one ending up getting the tackle, but he's typically the one getting chased, not having to do the chasing.
8:44 to play in the second. 2nd down and goal at the 2 in a 7-0 game. Berkeley Wright out of the shotgun. 2 receivers near side. They go back to Shetler on the ground, and he's going to be stopped short again. It'll be 3rd and goal inside the 1. Wellington inching closer here. They're going to go no huddle. Wright out of the shotgun. Look for the sneak. Tries to jump over. He tried to jump up over the line, and a late call is a touchdown.
Well, I tell you what, I was watching like a hawk. The official on the far sideline did not give a signal whatsoever. Unfortunately, the guy here on the Bueller side did eventually signal touchdown Wellington.
So that big run by Dustin Shetler of 43 yards set up that 1-yard score for Burke Wright. 8:14 to play in the second now. And Wellington will come on to try and tie it up with the extra point. And the kick is low but through. Kicked through by Jack Wright, and we are tied at 7. 8:14 to go in the half. Crusader football on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Rise Up Reno wants to remind parents that daily conversations can have a lasting impact. An alarming number of preteens are already consuming alcoholic beverages. According to KCTC data, 24% of 6th graders in Reno County have drank more than just a few sips of alcohol. Youth who drink are more likely to use drugs, get poor grades, make bad decisions, and have health problems. Help protect your children by having conversations about the dangers of drinking. Talk, they hear you. Visit riseupreno.org for more information.
Nextech wireless plans are perfect for however you do wireless. Just you? Great. Wired family? Perfect. Wired family and business? Works too. We've got plans and prices and mixes and matches that make finding the perfect combination just plain doable. So whether you're a bare, basic, bonus, or binge user, we've got you covered. Nextech Wireless. Everything you'll need at a price you'll love. Call us at 877-621-2600 or stop by a store for a free bill comparison. Something for everyone. Nextech Wireless.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Wellington to the kickoff here. And a short wobbly kick to the 38. It is going to be taken for Bueller by Carson Moeller. Why is it on those short kickoffs? You talked about Bannister for Wellington. Carson Moeller on kickoffs has a nose for the football.
Yeah, Carson along with Matthew Eddy were right there, but Moeller did a nice job. He signaled that fair catch really quickly. You can tell they've been taught to do so because sometimes on those short, high kicks, if you're an up back catching it, you're going to get lit up.
Well, Carson's the outfielder, too, so he knows how to take charge of the ball.
Bueller from their own 37 in a 7-7 game. Elliott right side carry, and he's going to be down by 2 Wellington defenders at the line of scrimmage there for no gain, leading the way. Big defensive tackle Kenny Furman. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Well, Coach Warner talks about it all the time. Limit the big plays. It was a 43-yard run that set up that score. You got to limit the big plays.
Yeah, that's been the biggest play of the game so far, yardage-wise. And you mentioned Kenny Furman making the stop. That's one of the big matchups Coach Warner was talking about all week long. The Crusaders have to stop big Kenny Furman.
7:40 to play in the second. 2nd and 10 for the Crusaders. Brad will go out of the gun. 2 receivers, including Coffey to the near side. McCurdy alone to the far side. And Sam up the middle, breaks out of a tackle at the 50, 45, 40. One man to beat, not going to be caught at the 10, 5. Ooh, he goes down inside the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal at the 3. Well, you don't want to give up the big plays, but you definitely want to produce the big plays.
Yeah, the Crusaders, you know, Coach Warner's old adage, when something bad happens, make something good happen, and Sam strikes with his longest run of the evening right there as he gets it 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. And, Aaron, I'm going to say you jinxed him there.
Spoke a little too early, Aaron.
I thought he had it 60. Well, let's give it to him again. 60 yards, longest run of the season for Sam Elliott. Sets up a 1st and goal at the 3.
That puts him over 100 yards rushing this evening already.
Brad under center, 2 backs behind him in the eye. It'll be Elliott. Ooh, and got his helmet ripped off. Still running, and a flag comes out, and that might be a penalty on the defense.
Yeah, they're going to stop the play just to keep Sam from having to go old school, no helmet, leather helmet style.
Dude's a wrestler. He's not going to stop.
But, yeah, I mean, he did such a nice job. They came in, tried to take his head off. His helmet came flying off. You know, it's going to be a personal foul on Wellington, so they'll move it a little bit closer. But some kids, their helmet comes flying off, Aaron. Like you said, they're going to stop running.
Not Sam.
he wants to score.
Well, Elliott came into the night 12th all-time. They call a face mask. That'll be the first penalty tonight on Wellington, and a huge personal foul penalty. Sam Elliott, 12th all-time in rushing, coming into the game now, over 2,000 for his career. And 2018, he's tied for 10th all-time. He'd like to break that right here if he can. Of course, ran for 361 in Week 5 at Augusta. That was 2nd all-time, 3 yards shy of the school record. 1st and goal again after the penalty on Wellington.
They go half the distance, so Bueller really doesn't gain a whole lot.
Replay 1st down. Elliott inside carry. Big physical collision there. And he'll be stopped for close to no gain. Trey Greenlee, a couple of other Wellington Crusaders there to knock him down at the 3.
Yeah, and Kenny Furman in on the stop as well. And Sam kind of tried to cut back in from the lead block by the superback and fullback, but big Kenny Furman was there, unfortunately.
I almost want to know if Sam would have scored with his helmet off instead of them having to redo the play and then getting stopped at the line.
They stay in the eye, and Brad Neal tries to sneak his way to the goal line, just short. They're going to mark him down at the 1. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. Brad Neal with more rushing yards tonight than he has combined all season, and that has been fantastic to watch.
Yeah, up to 22 yards on the ground so far for Bradley. But now for the Crusaders, kind of some gut check time. You don't want to have to go for it on 4th and goal here. You'd love to punch it in here with the ball inside the 2.
Matthew Eddy's going to check in at a receiver to the far side. 3rd and goal and 1 out of the I formation. They'll give it to the fullback. Rowland, did he get across the plane? They say he did not. And now they're going to have to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, it's one of those situations that the wind, not a huge factor with how short this field goal would be, but when you're this close to the goal line, it's just a matter of want to for the Crusaders here.
I've been impressed with the physicality of this front group for Wellington.
Well, you always know it's going to be a physical game when you lock horns with the Wellington Crusaders, and it's been just as billed tonight.
So a big play here coming up, 4th and goal, and they try to sneak it across, and Brad's not going to get there. Wellington will stop the drive inside the 1, a turnover on downs. Boy, normally on that sneak, you want to get so low and kind of get under everybody, and Brad really never got there, just kind of bounced off and took a knee, and that was it.
Yeah, there's a lot of beef right there in front. I mean, we keep talking about Kenny Furman, but he's there at D tackle. He's 270 pounds, and he is just a man amongst boys, a tough guy to try to move out of the way. And Crusaders tried to go kind of with a quick snap that time and wasn't able to catch Wellington off guard.
Wellington is going to have the ball from their own 1-yard line with 4:53 here to play in the second in a 7-7 game. We're live tonight from the Allen Samuels broadcast booth. At Allen Samuels of Hutz, they're dedicated to helping you find the make and model that best suits your needs. Online at AllenSamuelsHutch.com. And a flag out at the snap stops the game clock with 4:53 to go. It looks like the play clock went to 0.
Yeah, delay a game. Wellington went with the QB sneak to just try to get a little bit of breathing room as they are pinned right up against the goal line. That's one of those penalties that is going to be just a few mere inches. But Wellington snapping it. There isn't much ground south of where that football lies right now.
Should be a good time to see the defense step up and score some points.
Yeah, this is a dangerous place for the Wellington offense to try to operate out of.
Wright's going to be under center, and he sneaks it forward just to get it away from the goal line to the 2. But he's still going to be lining up in a dangerous spot here on 2nd down and about 9.
Yeah, I think they give him forward progress for about a yard and a little, maybe a half. But still, they are inside the 3-yard line, and the Bueller front 4, if they can get some pressure, be a great time to get a safety or a loose ball.
Brock McCurdy now in there at cornerback on one near side. They hand it off. Tough run inside for Shetler. Cross the 5 and up to the 9-yard line. We're looking at 3rd down and close to 4 yards here for Wellington.
Yeah, Shetler's a big enough back that they can just kind of run him right into the teeth of the Bueller defense and try to see what they can
high
do.
Snap there. And an inside carry. Wellington pushes back on Shetler. That play delayed a little bit as Burkright had to go up on a high snap delivered from his center, Hagen Wright. And Shetler stood up for a loss at the 8-yard line. It's going to be 4th down.
Great job by Jarrett Christensen. First time we've called his number tonight, doing a great job of just wrapping up and driving him back.
And even though Shetler's tall enough, he's only 185 pounds, and that's about a 25-pound difference compared to the last 2 to 3 weeks, as the running backs for the Crusaders defense has been like about 200, 210 pounds.
Wellington really taking their time. This is a tough call if you go for it here.
Oh,
they're going to have to call a timeout with 6 on the play clock. They may just let it run down. Now with 1 second on the clock, Wellington will burn a timeout. 3:17 to play here in the half. 7-7 game. 4th down for the Crusaders coming up here on HKFM of the Crusader Sports Network.
Phillips 66, our family has kept motorists on the road for nearly 60 years. Hi, this is Janet Dick, inviting you to stop by our locally owned station at 1215 East 4th in Hutch. Dick's offers top-tier gasoline, grab-and-go food options, and friendly service. Wherever you're headed, every journey begins with a stop at Dick's Phillips 66, 4th and Stevens in Hutch.
First National Bank is a proud sponsor of local high school sports. We have an experienced staff prepared to provide you with a variety of banking solutions. Please visit our website, fnbhutch.bank. That's fnbhutch.bank for more information. First National Bank of Hutchinson, we're first for you.
Visit one of the First's 5 convenient locations in Hutchinson, including inside Dillon's Marketplace. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
And out of the timeout, Coach Zane Aguiar has elected to punt. It'll be Cope Henry from his own end zone. High kick. Brock McCurdy fumbled it, got it back at the 40. Forward progress to the 36-yard line. He bobbled it just a bit, but phew, he's able to hold on.
Yep, took a nice bounce right off the shoulder pads, right back to his fingertips. So the crazy thing, gentlemen, this game is absolutely flying. There's just a little over 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter, but Bueller did a nice job of pinning Wellington deep after they didn't score and didn't let him out of jail. So now let's see if the Crusaders can use field position to their advantage.
From the Wellington 36, the right hash mark, 1st and 10 in the 7-7 game. And here is Sam Elliott, stutter step at the line of scrimmage and nowhere to go. Bueller has had so much success running inside this year, but we already talked about the changes in the offensive line and just how that may be throwing off their rhythm a little bit. You throw on top of that just the physicality of that interior Wellington defense. Gave them some fits there, loss of a yard.
Yeah, there's some big boys up there. I mean, Hayden Wright's a guy we haven't talked about much, but he's 275, so there is over 500 pounds right there in between the interior gaps Bueller's dealing with.
Play action as Brad rolls out to the left, wants to throw on the run. He hits Lipford in the hands, but he drops it inside the 25, incomplete.
Nice coverage that time by R.J. Clift, as it was just one of those plays that I feel like if Lipford wasn't so tightly pinned against the sideline, he probably could have caught that, because I think he was a little bit concerned of where the sideline was at.
Well, yeah, if he would have known, he knew where he was at, so that's good awareness. But at the same time, if he would have known, if he would have been just a little farther away from the sideline, then I think that he could have made it.
Levi Perez going to check in at receiver here on 3rd down. They'll go with a 3-receiver set, 1 back. That is Elliott in the backfield. Brad to throw over the middle, hits McCurdy in the hands at the 30, 25 still on his feet, 1st down to the 20, inside 15, 10, 5, touchdown Crusaders! What a play by Brock McCurdy.
He takes it in from 36 yards out. A lot of yak on that play as Brock McCurdy. It's just the quick slant. They worked him out of the slot, and he caught it. And, man, did he do something with the football after he caught it. He broke multiple tackles that play.
Well, I don't know if he knew that there was a receiver or if Bradley just underthrew it, so he had to cut back. But at the very beginning of when he caught it, it was a great cut just to get some green on the field.
Brock McCurdy with his first touchdown of the season. Now the extra point is no good. Wide right with 2:19 to play here in the first half. 13-7 Bueller from Crusader Stadium, the Crusader Sports Network at HKFM.
Crusader football on your smartphone or tablet with the Ad Astra Radio app. Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
I have children that are younger in grade school, and then I have high school children who go to see Dr. Ediger. I was super impressed with how he made my daughter feel so comfortable. Dr. Ediger is great with all ages. He does an awesome job.
Hi, this is Dr. Corey Ediger, inviting you and your family to call me at 663-9136. That's 663-9136. Or stop by my office at 200 East 30th to make an appointment today at Ediger Family Dental.
Their patients come first.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Second score of the night for the Maroon Crew, up 13-7. And that's a loose ball. Bounces off a return man back inside the 10. And Wellington's going to have it, let's see, out of bounds at about the 12-yard line here. Something I've noticed, we mentioned Brock McCurdy gaining confidence last week, and they've kind of found something that works, bringing him across the middle, hitting him in stride, instead of having him go down the field and wait for the ball.
Well, when a guy's lined up in the slot, he's typically going to be defended by a linebacker, and so then you get a huge mismatch with a guy as quick as Brock trying to be covered by a linebacker, because when you're the wideout, you're going to get the corner, you're going to get the best athlete defending you there. One thing here, guys, with how much time's left and Bueller having 3 timeouts, if we can get a couple quick stops, Bueller might get the football back.
1st and 10, they mark that out of bounds after that fumbled kick return at the 13. Wellington's going to put it on the ground.
And I love the play call. Coach Warner is burning timeouts. This is the smart thing to do here, because now Wellington really has to think about what they do here, or they're going to give the ball back to Bueller with a short field.
Forward progress to the 14, top of the field. 2 minutes left here in the half of the 13-7 game on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
For more than 90 years, Hutchinson Community College has been the premier 2-year educational institution in Kansas, offering the highest quality education at an exceptional value. Schedule a personal campus tour today. Visit hutchcc.edu/campus tour.
As your American Family Insurance agent in Hutchinson, I'm looking out for what matters to you, even when nothing's wrong. This is Sheila Metzger, agent at the Sheila Metzger Agency. Call me at 665-0400 and let's talk about your insurance needs today.
American Family Insurance.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
2:05 left here in the first half. 2nd and 10, Wellington at the 13-yard line. Crusader football on HKFM. Brought to you in part by Jackson Meat, by Risa Preno Prevention Network, The Medicine Shop, by Waypat Insurance, and by Rod's Tire and Service. One final game in the regular season will be next week at Towanda. We'll play the Circle T-Birds to wrap up the season. If the playoffs begun tonight, poor Winfield. It seems like almost every playoff they have to come to Bueller. If the playoffs started tonight, we would host Winfield.
Yeah, at least they don't have to do it in back-to-back years like we did a few years ago.
They came in back-to-back weeks.
Yes.
A couple of years ago. 2nd and 10 at the 13. Wellington's going to keep it on the ground. Left side run across the 10, and we'll have another timeout here. And up across the 15 to the 17, so they pick up 3 yards on that play. We'll have updates in our Bueller Dental Care scoreboard coming up at halftime. We're also going to talk with our new girls head basketball coach. If you've not had a chance to get to know Coach Mitchell Stetter and her pedigree and where she's come from, and take on a young Crusader team, we're excited to do that too. Coming up at halftime, we'll update you on what else is happening in Crusader sports, including our Crusader tennis team at state today and tomorrow. We know that Brittany Tufel in singles and Alex Hutton and Kayla Babcock in doubles have won their first 2 matches today. They're already into the semifinals tomorrow, so congratulations to them. Also in singles play, Casey Leal dropped her first-round match against Topeka Hayden's best player, but she came back and won her second match on the backside. She needs to make one more win tonight to make it to day 2.
Yeah, it's postseason time for fall sports and so many different activities for Bueller.
And I was looking at the bracket, so if Casey wins tonight, then all state qualifiers for Bueller will be state placers, as they are going to the top 8 placers.
That is what they need to try and win their first ever state title. Finished runner-up a year ago. 3rd and 7 at the 12. And Burke Wright works out of the gun. 2 receivers either side. Wants to throw pressure off the edge. He's going to be sacked by Bo Van Bruggen. Back across the 10-yard line. Attaboy Bo.
And that only takes 6 ticks off the clock, so Bueller is going to have a 2-minute drill opportunity here. Wellington's punter is going to be back along the goal line. And what a great setup by it says a lot about Coach Warner's faith in Coach Coles and the defense to start burning timeouts like that to try to get the ball back.
Loss of 7 back to the 10.
Well, Bo Van Bruggen's number, he used to be 40, and then he changed tonight to 75. Well, back in youth play, he used to be 75 because Van Bruggen's favorite team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he loved Mean Joe Green. And so we call him number 75, Mean Bo Green. So it's back. It's back.
I was going to suggest that we bring the Bo Nose back. But
Well, that's pretty awesome that 75 happened to be an open number. I mean, what are the coincidences of that? But you mentioned Bo switching positions. It says, too, I want to say it, a lot about his unselfishness as a player, because at the high school ranks, there's a lot of kids that they go from playing one spot and they get asked by their coaches to go to another. Some kids would pitch a fit, but the fact that he's willing to do whatever the team needs to win says a lot about his character.
So let me ask you this. Is he happy to be now not having to worry about having his number called at tight end and just block?
Well, the nice thing about when you're playing O-line, I mean, you are getting to deliver the licks. There's nobody hunting you.
Yeah, 4th and 13.
Flag out.
And a flag out as Cope Henry is in the end zone.
That's going to be encroachment, unfortunately, on Bueller.
To punt the football away. That's not going to be enough to get him a first down, but it will get Henry out of the end zone.
Well,
5-yard penalty.
And here again is super optimistic Chris. Maybe, because they've got to snap it again, maybe there'll be a high snap this time.
3rd penalty of the night on Bueller. That is already over their average of 2.5 a game on the season. So
that was one of the awesome things last week at MAC. Bueller did such a nice job of playing such a clean game, limiting the penalties.
So now Cope Henry will get, instead of punting from his own end zone, he'll get to punt near the 5. Brock McCurdy back at midfield. And it just got that one away. Just got it away. It'll bounce at the 50. Brock is going to chase it, and it is going to take a long run. McCurdy gets away from it. I think he said it went out of bounds at the 30.
Yeah, I mean, I think it went out of bounds even clear back up at the 35-yard line. He's visiting with the official. The linesman on the far side, I think, they're going to move it back up, so they will spot it right at the 35. So nice job by Brock doing a little politicking there along the Wellington sideline.
Deontay Campbell came very close to blocking that
the
punt.
Crusaders went all-out block that time. You could tell we brought the house. And, but the good news, Crusaders still have a fairly short field here, 65 yards to go. See if they can get their 3rd score of the night here.
Dial up the old 2-minute offense. 1:43 left in a 13-7 game, first half. Brad out of the gun, 4 wide receivers. And boy, that play took a long time in getting going in the play action. And that is Ryan Henderson in a quarterback. Faked to Sam Elliott, and both of them had the ball for what seemed like forever, and they get a yard out of it.
Yeah, they ran the read option here to the left-hand side, and Ryan just trying to wait for the defenders to really commit to taking Elliott, but enough of the guys stayed behind, and so just a 2-yard pickup.
So a gain of 1 here, looking at 2nd down and 9. They go back to the I, and back to Brad, to the fullback, Roland to the right side, and not much there. Forward progress to the 41. Clock running inside a minute to go. And now you're looking at 3rd and long. And I think everybody in the stadium knows they're going to have to throw here.
Yeah, I think the Crusaders, maybe with how well Wellington punted away that time, decided it'd be best to just try to, with a little longer field than what they were hoping for, to just take it to the locker room with the 1-score lead.
So a 3rd down and 6 in the I formation. And Brad will step back in the pocket to throw near side. McCurdy catches at the 50, and he'll get out of bounds. That'll get him to midfield with 30 seconds on the clock. And a gain of, I'll mark him out after a gain of 9 at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, nice pitch and catch that time on the little out route there for McCurdy, as ball just shy of midfield.
That was great awareness by Brock also to know where he was at by the sideline and to get out of bounds to stop the clock.
1st and 10 at midfield. Bradley stays out of the gun, rolling to his left. Throws, hits McCurdy in the hands inside the 40. They will stop the clock briefly to move the chains. And, from where they stopped the clock, only a second came off. They may have to look at that. The clock actually never started on that play, and then they started it late and a second came off. They'll take it down to 26. They will have to stop the clock to move the chains.
Aaron, we call that hometown clock operating. Coach or Mr. Schrader's trying to do his best to help the Crusaders score here.
At the 39, it'll be 1st and 10 after that catch by Brock. Brad going one-on-one, far sideline incomplete at the 10. And that'll stop the clock with 49 seconds to go. I believe that was Mason Lipford over there on the far side.
A nice job that time by Sam Elliott in pass protection, as there was a Wellington linebacker coming up hard, but Sam threw a devastating block to protect his QB that go-around.
28 games in this all-time series dating back to 1970. Bueller won last year 19-7. Coach Warner against Wellington is 4-2 all-time. He got his very first win as a Crusader on this field against this team back in 2006. Neal again out of the gun on second down. Throws it short to McCurdy. Had it and lost it. And 11 ticks now left on the second quarter clock.
Trying to run a little slip screen that time, but I tell you what, Kenny Furman, the big fella, stayed at home and was right there. If Brock had caught that, I don't know if that would have ended real well.
Well, that's going to be a big body, too, a fairly little body, and that does not end well for the little body.
Wellington leads the all-time series 16 games to 12. Third down and 10 at the 39. 11 seconds on the clock. Brad in the gun. 3 receiver set. Scrambling. Steps up in the pocket. Throws over the middle. Tipped around and batted incomplete. Boy, Dalen Coffey that time kind of had to go into defensive mode. He wasn't going to be able to catch the ball at the 25. Just had to make sure that nobody else in white caught it either.
Yeah, that ball kind of careened off of one of the Wellington defenders and kind of felt like it was in the air forever. Thankfully, Wellington was not able to pick it. And so now we're down to the final play of the first half here. We'll see if the Crusaders can lob one deep.
3 seconds left on the clock. This should be it, barring a defensive penalty. 13-7 Bueller. 4 wide receivers on fourth down. Brad steps up in the pocket, fumbles the football. It's going to be loose. Bueller will fall on it to save a turnover. And that is Bo Van Bruggen, who we've talked about a lot tonight. Fell on the 40, and that will get us to the end of the first half. Well, physical we knew it would be. And I think we're seeing a little bit Bueller trying to adjust to the changes on the offensive and defensive line. Remember, James Blick not playing tonight, too. Maybe that keys into it a little bit. Tight game, and that seems to be the way the games in this series go. So
yeah, it's been a long time since we blew out a Wellington team because they are just a physical, big team that typically gives us some fits.
Good news, we'll get the ball to start the second half. We love to win the third quarter. Bueller has done that this year, 34 points to 21. 13-7 at the half. Our Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report is next. We'll sit down with Bueller head girls basketball coach Sierra Mitchellstetter. That's next here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Stay tuned for tonight's Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report. Prairie Bank of Kansas, serving Central Kansas since 1886. Coming up, we'll bring you stats and analysis from tonight's first half. Your home for Crusader football is Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Prairie Bank of Kansas is a local bank with local concerns. You'll find us in the heart of the community, helping wherever we're needed. We enjoy working with local schools to help promote activities like sports and extracurricular learning. We hope you support these valuable activities too. We'll be right here with you. Visit one of our locations in Stafford, Bueller, Inman, or Hutchinson, or check us out online at prairiebankks.com. Prairie Bank of Kansas. How banking should be.
Neufeld's Flooring, your experts in design and installation of carpet, tile, wood, and vinyl floor covering. Proudly sponsoring Bueller High School activities, Neufeld's Flooring in downtown Bueller.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dal Hunt with Bueller Dental Care. At Bueller Dental Care, we have great registered hygienists to help schedule your family for convenience. You will receive high-quality dental care and build a positive relationship with our experienced staff in a pleasant and reassuring atmosphere. We like to have some fun with you and get to know you while you spend time with us. So be sure to give us a call at 620-543-2768 or email us at drdowdds@gmail.com. Bueller Dental Care, providing healthy smiles with a gentle touch.
Hello. Bruce Isaacson here with the Isaacson Insurance Agency. Effective September 1st of this year, I have moved my office to 1700 East 30th, Suite D, just east of the intersection of 30th and Waldron. Stop in for your free insurance review on your auto and home, or simply call 727-0653. You'll be glad you did.
And welcome back here at halftime. Our Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report. Aaron West here, and tonight's halftime guest is our girls basketball coach, Sierra Mitchell-Stetter. Coach, welcome. Thanks for your time.
I'm excited to be here. Another interview with you. It's always a pleasure.
Well, thanks. I am humbled by that. I know we talked in the spring, but for those that maybe missed that interview, just an opportunity to get to know you as a coach and your history a little bit. And graduate of Lions, right? Went to state at high school level, and then, of course, went on to the junior college level at Seward County and had a chance to go to nationals there, right? So.
Yes. I was a Lions High grad. Go Lions. Yes, I experienced the state tournament as a high school player, so I'm kind of eager to experience as a coach, hopefully soon. After Lions, I headed to Seward County, and I was coached under Jim Littell and Toby Wynn. And then from there, I went on to the University of Missouri, Kansas City, which is a small Division I. And I was coached under Bo Overton and Candace Whitaker. So I'm kind of a lucky player because I've been coached by 4 different head coaches.
A lot of wins just in your time at Seward County alone. You look at a program, my goodness, and what they've been able to accomplish for a junior college in liberal Kansas to win like they have is a pretty special thing. So for you to be a part of that had to be pretty neat.
Yes, it's a dynasty living out there. They say once you bleed green, you're always green, which was kind of hard when I coached for Hutch JUCO. I think I bled green until we played them.
Interesting, yes, that you transition into the coaching aspect of things and you end up under John Onches at HCC. So, I mean, in the Jayhawk, I would pit those two as the biggest rivals. So
I always cheered for Hutch JUCO, though, when we played him. So I just want to make sure that's clear.
So let's talk a little bit. Obviously, you as a point guard, how much does that spill over into your philosophy as a coach and what you're trying to do on the floor?
Yes, being a point guard gives you a lot of aspects of seeing every post position, knowing every position on the court, in and out, and then being able to communicate with the coaches. So having that experience on the court allows me to take it off the court and share that experience with my players.
If you were to describe your coaching style for me in just a few words, put yourself into words, how would you describe your coaching style?
I would describe my coaching style as very intense, I guess you could say, very feisty. I'm very, very passionate about what I do. I always tell the girls that I want what's best for them, so I'm going to push them and I'm going to teach them and I'm going to correct them because John kind of instilled that perfectionist, do everything right. I'm very passionate, maybe I should say. I like to be intense. I have a high energy. I like to be involved with the girls.
Or you've had some time to spend with them in summer workouts and then a little bit here in the fall. Turnout good there? How's that been so far?
It's actually been amazing. I'm very excited. We started, in June, I believe it was, and just getting to know the girls all summer long. I have seen so much improvement just over this summer. So I'm really eager to start the season and start competing with other teams to see exactly where we are. But it'll be a fun season.
Kind of an interesting spot as a new coach. You've got really a new team to work with. As a team went to state last year, graduated most of their scoring. And so it's kind of a chance for you to take a clean slate and build your program, I guess, into what you want it to be. So. Oh,
yeah. It's like building kind of a new foundation. They lost a lot of seniors, but we have some great senior kids coming back and playing that are going to be great leaders on and off the court. We have some young kids coming up as well.
All right, Coach. Well, lastly, I would just ask you, expectation-wise, where you're at going into the season.
I think I want to make sure my girls are bringing their best every single day. If that's on the court, if that's in the classroom, if that's in our community, I want to build that foundation of turning them into young, strong women that once they graduate high school, they're going to be successful no matter what they do. So my motto is always to give your best. So that's my expectation.
Looking forward to it. And thanks for your time. Best of luck. And we'll talk to you when we get a little bit closer to the season.
Yes, very much so. Thank you for having me, and go Crusaders.
Absolutely. Thanks to Coach Sierra Mitchell-Stetter, the girls basketball coach, for joining us here at halftime. And we'll be back with more right after this.
At Dick's Phillips 66, our family has kept motorists on the road for nearly 60 years. Hi, this is Janet Dick, inviting you to stop by our locally owned station at 1215 East 4th in Hutch. Dick's offers top-tier gasoline, grab-and-go food options, and friendly service. Wherever you're headed, every journey begins with a stop at Dick's Phillips 66, 4th and Stevens in Hutch.
Hi, this is Bueller head football coach Steve Warner. If you'd like to stay connected with what's going on within our program, I'd like to invite you to sign up for the Bueller Football Weekly Roundtable. It's a newsletter emailed weekly to Bueller High School football supporters. To sign up for the Football Weekly Roundtable, just send an email to crusadersrt@gmail.com. That's crusadersrt@gmail.com.
Hello fans, Monty Cross with HCU Investment Insurance Services, and as an alumni of Bueller, I am proud to sponsor Crusader Sports. HCU Investment Insurance Services is located inside Heartland Credit Union at 23rd and Severance in Hutchison. Call me today at 620-669-0177 or 800-428-8472. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Insurance products offered through LPL Financial or its licensed affiliates.
Bueller Crusader Football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
And back here for a look at our first half Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Adams Brown Strategic Allies and CPAs, proudly serving businesses in Kansas for the past 70 years. Online at adamsbrowncpa.com.
Well, taking a look at the numbers in the first half, Bueller outgaining Wellington in total offense, 222 to 115. And first down-wise, Bueller with the 11-7 advantage, 11 first downs for the Crusaders versus 7 for the Wellington Crusaders. In the passing game, Bradley Neal, a fairly efficient night tonight. He's 4 of 18 for 69 yards and 1 touchdown pass. For Wellington, on their side, Burkwright just 1 of 5 for 12 yards through the air. Rushing totals goes as follows for the Crusaders. Sam Elliott gets over the century mark. He has 9 carries for 109 yards. Bradley Neal has 5 carries for 27. Ryan Henderson, 4 carries for 16 yards. Colin Rowland, 3 carries for 13 yards and a touchdown. And then Cameron Campbell with 1 carry for -4 yards. For Wellington, leading rusher at the half, no surprise there, Dustin Shetler, 14 carries for 96 yards. Burke Wright, the quarterback, 7 carries for 9 yards and a TD. And then Rusk had that one series where he had 3 carries for 8 yards. Receiving-wise, Bueller's Brock McCurdy, leading receiver at the half, 4 catches for 72 yards and a TD, and just that one lone 12-yard catch for Montel Tate, the only receiving yards tonight for the Wellington Crusaders.
Bueller touchdowns, an 11-yard run by Colin Rowland, then the 37-yard pass from Brad Neal to Brock McCurdy. Wellington briefly tied at 7-7 in the second quarter on that 1-yard run by Burke Wright. 13-7 at the half, and our This Week in Crusader Sports. We'll find out what else is going on when we come back here on HKFM at the Crusader Sports Network.
The Prairie Bank of Kansas Halftime Report. Find Prairie Bank of Kansas online at prairiebankks.com. Following tonight's game, get scores and highlights on the Central Kansas scoreboard. Bueller Crusader Football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
At Adams Brown, our clients are the center of everything we do. Hi, this is Brett Henry. We're proud to have been named to the Inside Public Accountants Top 200 Firms for our 5th consecutive year. Adams Brown, Strategic Allies and CPAs, above and beyond.
As your community bank, Prairie Bank of Kansas is always looking for ways to make banking more convenient, like e-statements. Eliminate the need to file your monthly statements. Now you can be notified the moment your statement is available and easily access it online. Sign up for e-statements online at prairiebankks.com or visit one of our locations in Stafford, Bueller, Inman, or Hutchinson. Prairie Bank of Kansas. How banking should be.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome back here at halftime from Crusader Stadium tonight. Our Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report, second half versus Wellington, coming up here in a bit. Hey, look at what's happening elsewhere this week in Crusader Sports. We'll take you back to Monday, where JV football won at McPherson, 16-8. The Crusaders scored 16 unanswered points after being down 8-0 early. A pair of second-half touchdowns in that game by Gavin Patton. The freshman lost at McPherson Monday night, 46-28. Bueller had touchdowns in that game from Chase Henderson, Mason Jones, Tavian Gilliam, and Braden Gentry. On Thursday, cross-country swept league at El Dorado. The boys, Tanner Lindahl with a top time of 15:44.85. That is the second fastest mark this season for Lindahl. Hayden Keller was 7th. Leah Bentley came home first in the girls' race with a new PR, a time of 19:24.48. That is also a new school record set by Bentley. Leah talked about this young Crusader team growing throughout the season.
So the cross-country season so far has gone really good. We have a lot of newbies, and so we're definitely getting better throughout the season as they learn to race and we learn to race together. A podium finish at state. It's pretty projected that we're on the podium, but hopefully we can get better throughout the season and earn that state championship again.
Kristen Hamby was fourth for the Lady Crusaders. Bueller now set to host regionals at Prairie Ridge on October the 24th. Leah Bentley, of course, also doing double duty as an outside hitter for the volleyball team this year. Talk to us about being a multi-sport athlete.
Playing two sports is definitely mentally and physically draining, and it definitely takes a lot of motivation and drive, but I'm definitely thankful, especially this year, to be able to do both and to participate in both. And my practices are kind of split up every week, and then I attend all the games and all the meets. So, yeah.
The volleyball team having a fantastic season at 16-9, ranked 5th in 4A. They split a pair of matches with El Dorado and McPherson on Tuesday. Saturday, they'll be part of an 8-team invitational at Abilene. Lady Crusaders will then conclude the regular season next Tuesday at Winfield. Bueller golfers headed to state after winning their regional Monday at Wellington. The team shot a .366. Winfield went second and Andale third. Callie Cooper had the best mark for the Lady Crusaders in 18/88 to finish fifth. Lauren Specht was sixth. The Lady Crusaders will now look to defend their 4A state title. They are 3-time state champions. It'll be Monday and Tuesday. State golf held at Emporia's Municipal Golf Course. Soccer with 3 matches this week, went 1 and 2 on the pitch. Losses to McPherson and Salina Central. Crusader men blanked El Dorado 10-0 in a win Monday. They're now 4-8-2 on the season. They'll finish up regular season play next week. They host the Winfield Vikings Tuesday night at Crusader Stadium and then travel to Berean Academy and Elbing on Thursday. Tennis won its regional last Saturday. The Buckbalzer tennis courts qualifying 3 entries for the state tournament this weekend. In singles play, Brittany Tufel and Casey Leal, Alex Hutton and Kayla Babcock in doubles. State tennis going on today and tomorrow at Topeka's Crossover Tennis Center. And we'll have updated results from first-round play today coming up in just a bit. Stick around. Second half, Bueller and Wellington coming up here. The Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report on HKFM.
When you're running a business, you don't have time for internet that slows you down. IdeaTech is here to bring your business internet freedom. Freedom from high prices, freedom from slow service, and freedom from bad customer support. If you're ready to do business with a local company that cares about you, give IdeaTech a call at 620-543-5000 or visit ideatech.com and contact us through the Hook Me Up button on the homepage. Your internet freedom awaits.
The Cosmosphere had an unfortunate incident where sewage started to leak into the museum level. Given that we are supposed to care for and protect historic artifacts, we immediately called Phoenix Restoration because we knew Ryan and his team, they would work with us and get the situation eliminated so we could continue our operation.
Reno County's only locally owned fire and water restoration company is Phoenix Restoration. They'll help you rise again after your disaster. Online at phoenixrestoration.com.
Stock number T41550 down, outsigning 725 go, 84 months unapproved. I saw your ad last week on the $299 Dodge Journey, and I know your goal is 100% credit approval, but how does someone with a low credit score, slow pays, or late pays get approved?
Even with no credit or bad credit, we know sometimes bad things happen to good people. At Allen Samuels, our credit rebuilding program means that you can drive a brand new vehicle at a payment you can afford. Let us help you.
Only at Allen Samuels of Hutch, 30th and Lorraine, online 24 hours a day at allensamuelshutch.com.
Allen Samuels of Hutch. Come by and let's be friends.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Well, welcome back from the Allen Samuels broadcast booth. Look inside our Bueller Dental Care scoreboard tonight as we near the start of the second half in a 13-7 game. From regular teeth clinics to advanced periodontal work, your hometown dentist, Bueller Dental Care. Online at BuellerDentalCare.com. One final in 8-man action tonight. Central Plains over Central Christian 54-0. Some halftime scores paled at 21 Eudora 14. Derby leading Mays 21-19 in a tight battle. Mays South 21, Hayes 7. Valley Center 20, Arc City 7. Wamego leading Fort Scott 12-8. Little River had halftime over Harrington 32-6. It's Garden Plain 21, Belle Plaine at 10. Kingman 34, Bluestem nothing. Christopher, and Cheney leading Nickerson 21-6.
And I've got the halftime scores of all the other games going on across the Ad Astra Sports Network over on KSKU, Hit Radio 94.7 KSKU. Inman leading Remington 40-7 at the half. Then up the dial on Kansas Rocks 100.3 KNZS. The Haven Wildcats leading the Trinity Catholic Celtics 14-10.
Wow.
The last score we have out of Canton Galva, looks like they're on their way to 45. The Solomon Gorillas, it was 60-0 with just 7:22 left to go in the second. And you already had that final of the game going on Sports 1 where Central Plains came to Hutch and 45 Central Christian at the half.
54-0. If you missed our tennis update from earlier, Brittany Tufel through to the semifinals 2-0 today in state tennis. She won 6-3, 6-2 in the quarters. Now on to the semifinals tomorrow. In doubles, Alex Hutton and Caleb Babcock 2-0 in their quarterfinal match. They win 7-6, 7-2, 6-1, and on to the semifinals. Casey Leal dropped her opening match, won her first one on the backside, 9-5. Needs to win one more to get today, too. Here's a Wellington kick, and it'll be picked up at the 20, far side, 25-30. Close to the 35-yard line, and then gang tackled out of bounds on the return. Bueller will start second half of the football. Get this third quarter, Christopher, off to a solid start. What are you looking for adjustments-wise in the third half, in the third quarter?
Well, I tell you what, Bueller just had that one empty possession where Elliott had the long run and got tackled inside the 5. So for Bueller, they're working against the wind. Just a kind of a nice, long, sustained drive here and hopefully come away with a score and get some separation.
Up 13-7. Roland and McCurdy with scores in the first half. The flag comes out at the snap. Somebody might have jumped up front. A false start on the offense. That'll be already the 4th penalty tonight on the Crusaders.
We did such a nice job last week at McPherson of eliminating penalties, so hopefully that's maybe the last one of the night.
Before the drive even gets started, back to the 30-yard line, streaming online at adastraradio.com, the Ad Astra Radio app. Also on YouTube via the Crusader Sports Network, powered by Nextech Wireless. Your mobile and need to stay connected. Online at nextechwireless.com. 1st and 15 out of the eye. Going to be Sam Elliott up the middle on first down at the 45. He has the penalty yardage, breaks out of a tackle, 45-50, 45-40, down to the Wellington 30, to the sideline, inside the 20. It is going to be 1st and 10 in the red zone at the 17-yard line.
Well, you know how I said I wanted a nice, long, sustained drive? I'll take Sam Elliott going big there.
53 yards. That's only his second longest of the night, by the way. He has a 60-yarder tonight. Well, that's over 100 yards of offense in 2 plays. 1st and 10 down at the 17. Bueller going right to left toward the south end zone here in the second half. Off the left hash mark, Brad under center. Flipford and McCurdy to the near side. They line up in the eye. It'll be Elliott, and ankle tackled in the backfield for a loss of 3 back to the 20-yard line.
I think there was a little miscommunication that time as Bradley was looking over to the sideline quite a few times before the ball was snapped. So a rare loss there for Sam Elliott.
And that was Trace Rusk in on the tackle for Wellington, the defensive tackle up front for the Crusaders. 2nd down and 13. Rare loss of yardage for Sam. They'll stay in the eye with Coffey and McCurdy to the near side. Elliott goes off tackle far side and will get nowhere. No gain at the 20. So Wellington's front 7 continuing to be very aggressive and going after Sam Elliott, and that sets up a 3rd down and long.
Yeah, Trey Greenlee did a nice job of just hitting Elliott right as he tried to make a cut near the line of scrimmage. So now some tough down and distance for the Crusaders with a 3rd and long.
Yeah, some good news is you are in 4-down territory here. 3rd and 13 at the 20. They stay in the eye with Lipford and McCurdy to the near side. Brad wants to throw in the pocket on third down, and it is going to be fought for. I think Lipford's going to come up with it at the 15. He and the Wellington defender, Shetler, on the play, had simultaneous possession there for a minute, but Lipford's able to steal it away at the 15.
What a great job by Mason Lipford going up there and being physical to get the football. He really had to pry that out of the hands of the Wellington defender.
And even though that wasn't really much of a positive play and it's going to be 3rd and long, if it was complete, Chetler, you got mossed.
Yeah, 15-yard line, second catch of the year for Mason Lipford.
And there was a penalty flag out. It's kind of in the shadow of the white hats.
And they're talking to Coach Aguiar on the Wellington sideline about this.
And he might decline it.
Set up a 4th down.
One of the captains for Bueller, Corey Gilbert, goes up to visit with the officials. And he is doing a nice job advocating for the Crusaders. I don't know what the penalty is going to be, but Corey felt strongly enough to go speak to the white hat.
They are not going to decline the penalty. It's going to push the ball back across the 30 to the 34. They call it a hold, the second hold on this series against the Crusaders in their 5th penalty tonight.
So it wipes the completion off, so now 3rd and a country mile for the Crusaders with 10 minutes even left.
They will go with 4 wide receivers, trips right on 3rd and forever. Brad Neal's got the snap, pressure off the edge, nowhere to go, scrambling to the near side. He's going to tuck and run at the 40. Boy, how to just get out of bounds here.
Yeah, Bueller tried to set up the screen pass, but they defended it very well.
They brought pressure from Trace Rusk and Trey Greenlee, Christopher, and Brad had nowhere to go.
Yeah, nowhere to go, and so now the Crusaders will be forced to punt away. We'll see if Crusaders can pin him deep here. Bradley did a nice job. If you remember, he had that coffin corner kick against McPherson. See if he can do the same here.
Jeff Neal on to punt from the 38. He'll be standing near midfield. See if he can keep it in bounds. Low line drive kick here. Ooh, out of bounds inside the 10.
And great coverage that time by Carson Moeller. He does such a nice job as a long snapper. He gets that free release, getting down there to cover it and eliminating any chance Wellington had of returning that.
That's something we track on the season, how many punts inside the opponent's 20-yard line. And for Jeffrey Neal, that is number 5 on the season, back to the 11.
It's kind of some of those hidden yards within a football game, but a nice job as Wellington has had a couple of their drives starting from deep in their own territory, and that's exactly where they're at right here.
Going to mark it at the 9, actually, 1st and 10. And a hard hit at the line of scrimmage. Wellington running straight ahead on 1st down to the 10-yard line and a gain of 1.
A nice job being physical. It was Tanner Tushin coming in with a big hit at the line.
That was Dustin Shetler, the junior co-captain of this team, running straight ahead, and Tushin with a big collision. Tanner had a good week last week. One of the leaders in tackles, so along with Sam Elliott, James Blick up front. Blick not playing tonight, a little banged up, questionable at the start of the game. 2nd down and 9. And they get Shetler to the outside of the 20. He's got a 1st down. He got to the edge. Rare time tonight that Wellington has been able to get to the edge of the Bueller defense for positive yardage. And that'll move the sticks with 8:24 to go in the 3rd. And the Crusaders of Wellington are going to go no huddle here from the 22-yard line. So gain of 12. Here is right out of the gun with single receivers either side. Back to the ground, and Shetler and the inside carry, and Van Bruggen and company there saying no thank you. Coffee there as well in on the stop.
Well, and Jarrett Christensen just came through unblocked, wrapped him up, and great job by Jarrett as he's been doing a nice job playing physical up front. And against a team like Wellington that is such a physical team, you got to match that physicality.
So no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. 8 minutes to go in the 3rd and a 13-7 game. Here's Berkeley Wright out of the shotgun. 2 backs to his right, wants to throw near side, caught at the 25 and driven out of bounds immediately. Good coverage there on the catch for Montel Tate. And Wellington, the pass complete, but right there at the 25, Bueller defends that well, only gives up 3 yards.
And that's just the second completion of the evening for Wellington, both of them going to Montel Tate. So Wellington with a whole 14 yards of offense through the air this evening.
So 3rd down and 8, big play here for the Wellington Dukes. 7:45 to go in the 3rd. Down a touchdown, 13-7. Shetler on the ground trying to get to the edge again at the 25, and it's not going to work this time. A flag comes out. Boy, that is in the area of, let's hope it is holding on the defense, on the offense. Tackled is Shetler at the 29. We'll see what the penalty is.
Yeah, Marcus Voss did a nice job. Nearly had him wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, but Shetler was able to show some strength as he ran out of the tackle. And eventually it
is going to be on Wellington.
Tushin was in on the stop for Bueller, so.
Gain of 4, 4th down coming up, and so the sideline judge go over to Coach Warner and ask if he wanted to accept the penalty. Holding on the offense, just the 2nd penalty tonight against Wellington. Again, 5 already on Bueller. It'll be 4th down, and both teams likely forced to punt on their first series tonight. Crusader football brought to you by Whifco Steel Products, by Apple Lane Animal Hospital, First National Bank, by Apex Shears, and by Fee Insurance. Wellington lining up to go for it on 4th and 5, and a quick kick by the quarterback, Burke Wright. Nobody back to return, and this one's going to roll all the way inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. So a great punt on the quick kick sets Bueller up inside their own 20 here in their 2nd series in the 2nd half.
Yeah, when I saw Wellington line up to go for it there, I was like, holy cow, Coach Aguiar is a riverboat gambler, but they do the quick kick. Bueller didn't have anybody back to return. They get the nice rollout, and so now Bueller will have the long field to work against into the teeth of the wind with 7:17 left to go in the 3rd.
Is that when you take all your chips and you push them all to the middle?
Yes, all in.
1st and 10 from their own 19. 3rd quarter, 7:17 to play. 13-7 Bueller. McCurdy in the sweep in motion. The fake up the middle. They stay with the fullback. It'll be Colin Rowland on 1st down. Forward progress up to the 23-yard line. That'll be a gain of 4.
Yeah, nice carry there on 1st down for the Crusaders. Actually, Elliott, I think, got the carry.
Did Sam have that?
Yes, Sam did. There was a lot of kind of misdirection action going that time, but a nice carry on 1st down, and good to see us get started the drive with a positive play.
They ran that jet sweep with Brock McCurdy. 2nd down and 6 after a gain of 4. They go with a wingback in rolling to the right. Here's Elliott up the middle, breaks out of a tackle across the 30. And forward progress up to the 34-yard line. And that'll move the sticks.
Nice hard run inside for Sam Elliott as he just kind of batters his way against a couple Wellington defenders, and Bueller now with some momentum. Nice couple carries to start this drive.
Talk about those long sustained drives. Got to keep it going. Positive plays moving forward. 1st and 10 from the 34, down at 6:18 to go in the 3rd. Brad Neal out there directing his lineman. That's Henderson to the far side in the slot this time. Brad out of the gun. He'll stick with Elliott up the middle, across the 40, and forward progress to the 42-yard line. So 8 more yards by Sam.
Well, and Sam does such a nice job. When he takes a hand off, his legs are churning. He has that good, nice knee drive and a great carry on 1st down. I tell you what, this is an offensive play caller's dream scenario. 2nd and short. You can take a shot downfield if you want to here.
Dalen Coffey returns. Mason Lipford goes out on 2nd and 2. They will line up in the eye and give it to Sam. Hesitation move. Look at him squirt under a defender. Where did his knee go down? They're going to mark him a yard shy. He tried to squirt that time underneath Kenny Furman, who has just been all over the field tonight. And he got a yard. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, I think maybe the turf monster got Sam on that one. Didn't look like really anybody tripped him up that time. But
think the limbo. How low can you get down on the turf?
Well, with those big fellas up front between Furman and Wright, there's some beef up front for Wellington.
3rd down and 1. 2 receivers left to the eye. Here's the fake and the pitch late. Trying to get Elliott to the edge. It's going to be close, but I'm not sure they got there. Looking at 4th and 1.
Let's see where the official spots it. I like this spot here on the near side. Yes, I love that
spot. That's a great spot right there.
Oh. I think he heard me, but I tell you what,
Fourth and a yard.
If they do the measure, they've got to measure this thing because the line to gain looks to be just, holy cow, that needs to be measured. That ball, the nose, well, I guess I'm a yard off.
I think you're a yard off.
Yeah, sorry. I was getting a little bit excited there.
They need the 44. They got the 43.
Rats.
And so on to punt is Jeff Neal for the second time in this third quarter. He'll get it away, almost blocked at the 35. Taken on the run for Wellington by Trenton Bannister. Across the 45, and he's going to be down to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. We stay at 13-7. 4:08 to play in the third from the Allen Samuels broadcast booth. Online at AllenSamuelsHutch.com. Allen Samuels, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram. Come by, let's be friends.
And Aaron, on the offensive side, I've seen 22 Matthew Eddy, the sophomore for the Crusaders, get in a lot of wideout time, even though for JV he is the starting quarterback.
He's going to have quite a bit of playing time here before his career is over. 1st and 10, Wellington at their own 49. They'll hand it off. Oh, big hit on first down. No thank you. Loss of about a yard and a big collision at the end of that run.
Yeah, I didn't get the number on that truck, but it was a shot. And a no gain there for Wellington.
That wasn't Dalen that got the hit, was it?
Not sure. I know who took the hit. That was Trace Rusk, who was peeling himself up off the turf. 2nd down and 10 after no gain. Out of the gun, Burke Wright trips left, 4 wide receiver set on 2nd down, wants to throw, near side, caught, but taken down immediately and driven backwards. Great coverage. That time for the Crusaders by Deontay Campbell, and just a gain of 4.
And that's just the 3rd completion of the night for Wellington, and a whole 18 yards so far this evening for them through the air.
They'll go no huddle again. 3rd down here at about 6. The right hash mark of the 46, going left to right. Burke Wright out of the gun. They put Bannister in motion in the sweep. They hand it off. Rusk from behind. It's going to be tackled. Boy, Bueller got quick into the backfield that time. Tackled for a no gain at the 46, and that play blew up, and Van Bruggen was right there in the middle of it again.
Yeah, mean Bo Van Bruggen in on the stop that time as he did a great job of wrapping him up. And now Wellington, this is an interesting spot on the field, as I think Coach Aguirre is going to be tempted to go for it with them down just 1 score.
Well, the way this game is going, at some point it's going to take a big play for you to get control of this game. 4th down and 5 at the 46. Burke Wright out of the gun. Empty backfield set, 5 wide receivers. And the quick kick again, this one high in the air. Boy, just get out of the way of that thing. Bannister for Wellington is trailing it inside the 15, and it's going to continue to roll down to the 10, and it finally stops there. And I thought that might be a place where he might dial up the 4th down play. Just the way this third quarter is going, you need some type of momentum stealing play.
Yeah, both teams have been able to move the football here, but just nobody's been able to hit pay dirt. But I tell you what, in a game where it's very low scoring, going for it becomes even that much more dangerous. Field position's definitely kind of been the name of the game here in the third.
Well, Bueller has got lots of green turf in front of them from their own 10. 1st down and 10, 2:13 to go in the third. 13-7. They'll work the ground game. Elliott up the middle. Cross the 15. Following his blockers to the 16-yard line. 6 more for Slippery Sam on 1st down. Inside 2 minutes here in the third quarter.
And towards the end of that run, if Sam would have gotten broken free, Jarrett Christensen had a pretty good block on number 9. That is, well, you know, Dustin Schletter. So Sam would have been able to break free. He would have gotten a lot of green there.
Javon Ostrom checks into the game at a wide receiver now. Lone man to the near side on 2nd down and 5 at the 15. They'll stay in the eye with Rowland and Elliott behind Neal. Sam on 2nd down, breaks out of a tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. At the 15, it's going to set up a 3rd down and 5.
Well, Hagan Wright thought he had Sam Elliott stopped, but Sam was able to just kind of spring his way out of the tackle and leap forward for a couple extra yards, but now a big 3rd down conversion on the way for the Crusaders.
1:09 clock running left here in the third. It is 13-7, each team scoring in the first half. Touchdowns of 11 yards And 37 yards in the first half for Bueller, Rowland, and McCurdy. I formation, 2 wide receivers. Brad to throw, wants it quick out to McCurdy. He threw it short. A little miscommunication there, and it sets up another 4th down. Brock was open, but I'm not sure he was where Bradley wanted him to be on that throw.
The ball maybe just a little bit underthrown. That was just the first pass attempt by the Crusaders here in the 3rd quarter. And so now Bueller will be forced to punt it away as Wellington does a nice job there and forces a 3 and out.
We talk about that 1-5 schedule at Division IV and Collegiate Clearwater. There's 1 loss between those 3 teams. It's a pretty good division. Rose Hill's not bad. Here's a punt. Fair caught by Bannister in Bueller territory at the 44-yard line. Well, so Wellington's going to have dream field position.
Yeah, Wellington's coming off their loss. They went out to Dodge City last Friday and played Ulysses. Ulysses this year, with all the changes in schedule, is playing some of the big boys. They're playing Liberal and Garden City. So, I mean, that Ulysses squad that they lost to last week by 20 was no picnic.
Crusader football tonight brought to you in part by Hutchinson Community College, by the Bueller Booster Club, Man Wyatt and Rice, by the Prairie Bank of Kansas, and by Dix Phillips 66. 1st and 10 Wellington at the Bueller 44-yard line. And they'll work the ground game. Quarterback keeper, right side, right, forward progress to the 41. That'll take us inside a half a minute to play in the 3rd with a 3-yard gain. They go no huddle. 4 wide receivers right out of the gun, looking to throw, being pressured out of the pocket, being chased, and he is going to go, oh no, he's still on his feet, broke out of a coffee tackle, down to the 50, and there's going to be a flag in the backfield. That is going to be on Wellington, I hope.
And Shetler hit Bo Van Bruggen in the back, and Bo knocking the cobwebs out of his head, but I think that illegal block in the back is going to push Wellington way the heck back.
But Shetler absolutely clobbered Bo.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those plays, I can tell you. Shetler taking a cheap one on Bo. I don't know if Bo, Aaron, or guys is the guy you want to fiddle with.
I've been his friend for years, and
15 yards.
He'll get his retaliation.
On the personal foul penalty, 3rd of the night on the Wellington. Well, Dalen Coffey almost had a sack back at the 40.
Yes. But I tell you what, Burke Wright is a big-bodied quarterback. He comes into the game tonight, 210 pounds. I mean, he is not a small quarterback by any stretch of the imagination, but with that massive personal foul, holy cow.
All the way back, they started this drive at the Bueller 44 with that penalty. Back to the 41, or back to the 30. They're back to their own 30. Let's see. From the line of scrimmage, that is a loss of 29 yards. 2nd and 35 at the 30.
Look for the screen.
Burke Wright out of the gun. 3 receivers far side, single receiver to the near side. And Wright has to throw it away. Is Van Bruggen and Coffey there again. I think Bo may be a little irritated.
Yes, and they did run the screen that time, but Bueller did a great job of defending that time. So, I mean, what ended up happening was Wright just had to lob it downfield at one of the receivers who was blocking here on the near side.
Well, their line is not right now being able to contain our defensive ends. So that's good news.
Yep, Coffey and Bo doing a great job getting that pressure.
3rd down and 35. Wright will stay out of the gun. Trips right. Single receiver far side. High snap. Handoff. And shut down is Shetler up at the 32.
Well, I tell you what.
Gain of 3.
Even though he didn't get the tackle that time, Sam with a nice little pop at the end of that.
Bueller is going to force Wellington to punt again as time expires in the 3rd. No scoring in the 3rd quarter, still 13-7 as we go to the 4th here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
For more than 90 years, Hutchinson Community College has been the premier 2-year educational institution in Kansas, offering the highest quality education at an exceptional value. Schedule a personal campus tour today. Visit hutchcc.edu/campus tour.
Mann, Wyatt & Rice Personal Injury Law Firm is celebrating 20 years of helping victims recover their health and lives after a serious accident. Serving Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Colorado, our success stems from valuing people over profits. We look forward to another 20 years of fighting for victims' rights. Mann, Wyatt & Rice attorneys and staff wish Bueller athletes the best of luck this season. Mann, Wyatt & Rice, trusted, experienced, compassionate.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Well, the way this game is going, a 2-score lead might be enough if Bueller's able to score again here. No scoring in the third. 4th down. And a whistle at the snap as Wellington's Henry back to punt. We may push him back a little bit more here.
And so Bueller gets encroachment again. Second time we've gotten an encroachment penalty trying to get the block on the punt this evening.
Just trying to anticipate that snap.
Must have saw something on film that they've had some punts blocked this year because Crusaders really dialing up the pressure.
6th penalty of the night. And Henry will punt near his 30. Angles far side away from Brock McCurdy. And it'll be down to near the 36.
Nice job
Bueller
by Cameron Campbell, kind of having to tiptoe around the football that time as it was right near his feet. And if he touches it, it's a live football. Wellington can get it. Obviously, if nobody on the return team touches it, it's just a dead ball, whatever the Wellington Crusaders down it.
Well, combined in the last 8 series in these two teams, we've had 7 punts. And the only other series, Bueller had the ball at the end of the first half. No offense in a while. I formation, still 13-7. Bueller from their own 37. And a right side run for Sam Elliott. He has had a hard night. He's had quite a few yards. They haven't been able to sustain those drives so far tonight.
Yeah, it's the long sustained drive has kind of not been happening this evening for the Crusaders, but there's no better place than here, no better time than now.
Bueller breaks the huddle with 17 on the play clock, down to 11:22 left, 13-7. Single-digit wins last 2 years in this series. It has been tight. Last 2 years in the playoffs, 1-1. Inside handoff to the fullback, Colin Rowland on the 2nd down.
Well, you said in the pregame show, Aaron, that for the past 2 games, Wellington has held Bueller to under 20 points.
So far, that is holding true tonight. 2 yards to the 42, 3rd down and 5. Boy, they just cannot move the chains here. Crusader football brought to you in part by Wifco Steel Products, by Apple Lane Animal Hospital, First National Bank, by Apex Shears, and by Fee Insurance. 3rd and 5. Let's see if they can pick up a big 3rd down here. There's Brad out of the gun. Wing back right is Rowland. 2 receivers right. Play action. Rolling to the right side. Brad wants to throw. Finds something. Picked off. Was he inbounds when he caught it? Yes.
So unfortunately, Brad throws his first INT of the evening, and now Wellington will have the ball in Crusader territory for their first possession here of this 4th quarter.
Meki Ybarra read the route that time, overplayed on the pass and picked him off. And for Bradley Neal, that is INT number 5 on the season. First turnover tonight. Wellington has got it back. 10:25 to go in the game. 1st and 10 from the Bueller 46-yard line.
That was great anticipation by Ybarra right there.
You know what has really hurt Bueller in the second half? 2nd down has been terrible for them. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line.
Flags come flying in from all sorts of the countryside.
Meki Ybarra was in motion, the sophomore receiver. And there was motion somewhere. 4th penalty on Wellington. That pushes them back across the 50 to their own 49.
Looking at their roster, Wellington sure does have a lot of sophomores and juniors playing, so they got a pretty young squad.
10:25 left. Big one tonight. Circle next Friday. Burkright out of the gun. 4 receivers. Trips right. It'll be Shetler off tackle near side. So they overload the right, run to the left, across the 45, back into Bueller territory. And there's all kinds of activity after the play here.
Flag came flying in from the white hat right at the end of the play.
Shetler to the 45 sets up.
And with the timing of that flag,
second and long.
Very well could be on the Crusaders, unfortunately. Wait for the official signal from the white hat.
I'm going to go over and talk to Aguiar for Wellington. Personal foul on the defense. That'll be against the Crusaders, their 7th penalty tonight. It'll move the chains as the ball goes all the way inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Whew.
Yeah, you don't want to help out Wellington any more than we already are, so now the Crusaders defense going to have to get tough here.
Here's a throw on first down. It's nearly picked off at the 10.
Deontay Campbell nearly with the pick on the far side.
Wellington was going for the whole enchilada in one bite. And Deontay Campbell, with his back to the football, almost picked it off inside the 10.
So now big second down on the way.
.10:07 left in the fourth. 13-7. We've been stuck. Last score in this game was by Bueller with 2:19 to go in the second.
It was about 10 years ago.
And in motion, inside handoff on second down. It is Dustin Shetler to the right side. Forward progress to the 26. It'll pick up 3 yards. And now third down for Wellington, who goes no huddle. On 3rd and 6, Burkright out of the gun. 4 wide receivers. Now he looks to the sideline. Boy, it took him forever to get the play clock started that time. Peter fans making some noise. They go in the slot, far side. Caught but trucked. What a hit at the 25. Caught by Bannister, but he is steamrolled.
Levi Perez, the high safety, with a big physical play as he makes the hit right as he catches it. And that's huge because Bannister, if he would have turned that upfield, would have had enough for the first down, but big play by Perez.
And with a few things not going their way as the Crusaders, with the senior leader of the team, Levi Perez, to get that hit is big.
4th down and 4. Wellington lining up to go for it after a gain of 3. Burkright out of the gun. Trips left on a big 4th down. 9:02 to play. 13-7 Bueller. Right long count. Out of the gun down to 3 on the play clock. Just gets the snap off. Inside handoff Shetler, and I think he's got enough for the first down.
Yeah, Shetler had to get just barely across the 20, and he gets all the way downfield to about the 17-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Wellington now in the red zone.
They were 1 second away from delay of game there. And now they go no huddle again, straight ahead carry, and Shetler to the 15 and a gain of 2. 7 plays on this drive. Wellington with an opportunity. A touchdown and an extra point would give them their first lead. 2nd down and 8. Out of the shotgun, is Wright. 4 wide receivers. Wants to throw. Pressure off the edge. Near side caught. Nobody there to the 5. And it's going to be 1st and goal.
Brock McCurdy with the touchdown saving tackle. The catch made there by Ybarra for Wellington, one of those sophomores you were talking about earlier, Tyler.
1st and goal from the 3-yard line here. And they try and smash it up the middle.
Didn't get it.
Forward to the 1.
Nice job by the boys up front for Bueller, plugging those interior gaps as they try the QB sneak.
Well, you certainly hope that a missed extra point doesn't come back to
haunt you. Yeah, the ball looks to be just shy of the 1-yard line here. 2nd and goal for Wellington.
2nd and goal. And they stay with the jumbo. The quarterback sneak, and it looks like Wright is in. And the near side official signals touchdown.
Well, the Crusaders tie us up for the first time tonight. And now the ever important PAT.
7:35 to play. Burkright with a 1-yard run. And they will set up for the extra point at the 10. Well, we talked about getting off the field on third down, and they just could not do it in that series. And here is Jack right on for the extra point from the 10. The hold is down and good. The kick is low and wobbly, but it goes through. And Wellington, for the first time tonight, has a lead. 14-13, 7:35 left. You're listening to Crusader Football on the Crusader Sports Network at HKFM.
The evaporated salt produced at your local Cargill salt facility is among the purest of all salts. Cargill Salt of Hutch is proud to support the schools of Reno County. Collaborate, create, succeed. Cargill Salt of Hutchinson.
Come visit us at Bueller Dental Care. Our friendly and experienced staff is here to help give you the best care around, and we like to have some fun and get to know you while you spend time with us. From regular fillings, cleanings, dental implants, or even if we have to, extractions, we can provide the treatments you need. We are always accepting new patients, so be sure to call us at 620-543-2768 to schedule your next appointment, or email online at drdalls@gmail.com. Bueller Dental Care, providing healthy smiles with a gentle touch.
Bueller Crusader Football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Well, if you were asking me for a list of things that have been an Achilles heel for Bueller tonight, I would start with penalties. Whoa.
Yeah, penalties have been not the Crusaders' friend tonight. But still lots of time left for Bueller to score. 3 timeouts remaining, just down 1.
7:35 left. This is Burkwright to kick it off, and it goes straight up in the air, and it's taken at the 50. And Wellington says they have the football, and they do. Wow.
That was not smart by their Crusaders right there, because that was it even 10 yards yet?
It did go the 10 yards, but they did just an excellent job of kicking that thing right up the elevator shaft. I mean, it went 1.5 miles high.
Now, let me say, there has been no official call. The officials are all huddled at the 50, and they're going to signal Wellington football.
Okay, so now the Crusader Black Knight defense is really going to have to step up here and try to make something happen. Wellington has all the momentum in the world on their side. Coach Warner.
I guess the design there and the kind of onside kick, not lined up in the traditional onside formation, but ball went straight up in the air.
Oh, he did an amazing job of getting that ball up in just 10 yards. And now Coach Warner talked to the official on the near side enough to elicit another powwow at the B at midfield.
Well, I wasn't even thinking onside kick because they weren't lined up in the traditional formation for that.
They're just kind of trying to strike while the iron's hot and catch Bueller off guard.
And the officials are now rehuddled at the 50.
Because if Wellington touches the ball before it gets to the 50, it's Bueller ball no matter what. And Coach Warner.
Although there was a fair catch signal, the receiving team was given an opportunity to catch the ball and touch them first, which makes it a live ball. Recovered by Wellington, first down.
So Bueller signaled fair catch, but the ball was never caught.
Well, and the kick-catch interference call that Coach Warner wanted, you have to give a return man a chance to get it. You can't have a guy right in his face, but defense is going to have to just step up and try to play some ball here.
From the 50, Wellington will run it with Shetler. The other thing that is a run forward for 3 to the 47 is it's getting a little chippy out there. You can't afford any more personal foul penalties.
No doubt about it, and our defense has been out there on the field for a long, long time. It's got to try to get the stop here and get the ball back.
2nd down and 7 from the 47. Wellington right to left here in a 1-point game, 14-13. Out of the gun, Burkwright. 3 wide receivers. And a fake far side first down right inside the 30, down inside the 25. And down to the 24-yard line.
Well, they sold the fake so well that time. I thought Bo had Shetler, dead to rights, and they had the quarterback keep on just the stretch option. And, man, they sold that fake well.
Well, that's kind of like the Crusaders, Bueller Crusaders trying to keep Wellington when they're on offense on their heels, not always giving it to Sam. And that time, Shetler has typically gotten the ball almost the whole time, so that did throw the Bueller Crusaders off.
Gain of 23, 1st and 10. From the 23. Burkwright out of the gun. His team up 1. Trying to avenge that 2006 loss here. Woo! And Shetler is nailed for no gain at the 23, never got started.
Jared Christensen delivering the package that time. Man, he just blew him up.
Well, got to keep him out of the end zone here. 2nd down and 10, no gain. Wright stays out of the gun, trips left. One-on-one coverage to the end zone. Is it caught? Touchdown.
Just a
great throw by Wright. Wellington has a 7-point lead at the moment. That catch in the end zone by Monte Tate.
Yeah, Tate just had a route just right along the sideline. Lipford was in great position that time, but he just dropped the dime right over Lipford's shoulders. And now Wellington with their first lead of the night.
And I believe those are all 5 receptions. That's been the Monte Tate.
And Wellington, the extra point is good and makes it an 8-point game. So a touchdown and a 2-point conversion now, separating them from Bueller, trying for the road upset tonight. 5:47 left here on HKFM of the Crusader Sports Network.
Follow our Crusader football coverage on the sports page at adastraradio.com. You're listening to Bueller Crusader Football on HKFM.
This is Rod from Rod's Tire and Service in Hillsboro. Carrie, myself, and our entire staff want to let you know that we are still open to keep you rolling. We encourage customers to take advantage of our vehicle pickup and drop-off service. We can pick your vehicle up for new tires or service and return it to your house or business. Our farm service trucks are ready as always. We all need to do our part to keep ourselves and those around us healthy and safe. From all of us at Rod's Tire and Service, we thank you for your continued support and business. Your one-stop complete source for Firestone tires is Rod's Tire and Service in Hillsboro.
Bueller Crusader Football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Well, 21-13, 5:47 left. Wellington still just a 1-score lead, but 2-point conversions are a gamble. So you need a touchdown on this drive and then a stop, and you got to get the ball back. Burkwright with a short kick, fair caught this time at the 35. That is where Bueller will start.
Yeah, Bo Van Bruggen taking the fair catch as Wellington kicks the angle kick towards their sideline, but still plenty of time for Bueller. 3 timeouts remaining. All options are on the table. It's still just a 1-possession game. I know the 2-point try is always dicey, but that is really huge that we don't have to get 2 scores.
And we said it was going to take a big play to kind of seize some momentum in this game, and with that, essentially became an onside kick, although it wasn't. Coach Aguiar pulled one out of the bag. 1st and 10, 36-yard line, and a right side run forward to the 37 for a gain of 1 by Sam Elliott.
Well, Wellington completely selling out to stop the run. Bueller getting single coverage on the edges. So this would be a great opportunity. If the Crusaders want to try to get a one-on-one scenario, they've got it, with Wellington just having one high safety over the top.
Colin Rowland rolls out of the lineup, Matthew Etienne. They'll go with 3 wide receivers out of the gun on 2nd down and 9. And Brad rolling to his right. Good block on the edge, throws over the middle. I thought he was going to go to McCurdy up this near side. He tried to cut back across the middle to Rowland, and the pass was low, incomplete.
Yeah, Bueller went twins to either side, got single coverage across the way. And Neal rolled to his right, tried to hit Coffey underneath, but
now it becomes a huge 3rd down.
Yep, clock stops on the incompletion, but with 5:09, Bueller might be in 4-down territory.
And I know that there's plenty of time on the clock, but I'd like to give my defense a rest. They've been on the field so much in the second half. 3rd down and 9 at the 37. Here's Brad out of the gun. 3 wide receivers, wants to throw, going to one-on-one. McCurdy near side. Oh my gosh, he dropped the football.
Yeah, he did a great job of getting behind the defender, Jack Wright. Wright fell down, and if McCurdy had been able to hold on to it, he might have taken it to the house.
His defender completely fell down, and McCurdy just off his hands.
Yeah, ball was a little bit underthrown, and so even though Wright was not on his feet, he was just there in the way enough to present a problem.
Got to catch that. 5:03 left, 21-13 and 4th down.
Coach Warner's going to go for it here. Play the game right here, fellas.
Wellington had a gamble. Now here's Bueller's gamble on 4th and 9. 3 receivers spread out of the shotgun. Wants to throw. Far side. Caught for the first down at the 50. Still on his feet, 45 and down to the 40. Who caught that football?
Coffee on the far side for the
Coffee.
Crusaders. Just a little sticks route. He set up just beyond the line to gain, caught it, and then made something happen with it afterward. We got it in Wellington Crusader territory now, but
boy, did they need that.
And that's something that's big. The key thing is you have to catch before you run. So maybe McCurdy got his hopes up, maybe getting that touchdown. Well, Coffee knew he had to get a first down. He was there, and so instead of running right away, he caught it.
1st and 10 at the 41. Brad works out of the gun again. 3 wide receiver set. Wants to throw out of the backfield. Little swing pass to Elliott at the 40. 35. Dancing to the 30. Look at him. Inside the 30 to the 28.
Well, Sam,
so hard to tackle.
Yes, he had a linebacker right in his face, and Sam just cut to the inside, caught the guy off guard, and slashed him for some extra yards. And Bueller now with some momentum for the first time in this 4th quarter.
1st and 10 at the 28. After a gain of 13. And
Coach Aguirre is going to burn a timeout.
Timeout Wellington. He is not happy about something.
No.
Ripped his headset off.
He is hollering.
He is all the way to the far hash mark, giving his team the business. 4:05 left, 21-13, Wellington by 8 here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Your dusty or muddy driveway, APAC Kansas Shears Division is here to help. This is Derek Fees. Call us and ask us about our asphalt millings. If you are a do-it-yourselfer, arrange for pickup or delivery at your convenience. Call APAC today at 620-662-2112.
Mid-Kansas Credit Union, serving Central Kansas from their locations in Moundridge and Bueller. Take control of your accounts and sign up for online banking at mkcu.com with features like remote capture deposit and online bill pay. Member-owned and proudly supporting Crusader arts, athletics, and academics. Mid-Kansas Credit Union at 200 West 2nd in Bueller and in Moundridge. Member NCUA.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
1st and 10 at the 28 out of the Wellington timeout. Left to right Bueller. It'll be Neal out of the gun. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Handoff Elliott, far side, 25. Trying to bounce to the outside, flag down. And oh my goodness, penalties have been huge tonight.
I know, and with where that flag is thrown, it's probably going to be a hold against the Crusaders. But man, Sam Elliott with such a nice run, you hate to see it get knocked off the board.
That would be the 8th penalty tonight, and it is going to be holding against the Crusaders. Boy.
But I tell you what, glass half full, Aaron, getting a penalty on first down.
Here's the problem. So as a coach, you got to put that aside, refocus, call the next play. I'd still be down there eating my hat.
Well, a good play caller, the instant you send in a play, you already have to have the next one coming up in the revolver.
1st and 10 at the 1st and 20 now at the 37. And they'll fake to Elliott. Brad wants to throw over the middle. Picked off. Boy, he should not have thrown that ball. Return into Bueller territory across the 40 down to near the 30-yard line. Boy, you just can't. Riverboat Gambler there throws into traffic and has it picked off his second IT of the night.
Yeah, it was tip drill that time. It was Makai Yabara that reached up and batted it into the air, and it was picked off and returned big there by Cope Henry.
That's Yabara's second pick of the game.
Well, I mentioned that Coach Warner got his first win in Bueller in this series back in 06. He was celebrated for his 250th tonight. And if Wellington is able to steal this one away, you know, coaches have those losses that hurt that they keep in a box, and they complain about them every once in a while.
Yeah.
This would be one of those.
Well, hopefully the Crusaders can get a stop here or get a quick turnover.
Wellington's just going to want to eat clock at this point. So there's a run, inside carry by Shetler. Timeout Bueller, no game. 3:38 left in a 21-13 game on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
At Local, not only do you receive more personalized service, but we also have the knowledge and passion for all the products we sell. This is Jenny from Jackson Meat. We encourage you to experience the local difference when you shop with us. Jackson Meat, 13 West 6th Avenue, downtown Hutchinson.
Need a little morale pick-me-up in your office? Did you know updating your old fluorescent troppers with flat panel LEDs can boost employee morale and productivity? Sunflower Electric will come to your office, lay out a design, and provide a free estimate that can have big dividends. New flat panel LEDs give better lighting output using less wattage and lasting longer, which means savings for you. Call today at 620-662-0531 or stop by your local Sunflower Electric supply in Hutchinson, Great Bend, or Liberal.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Second down and 10 from the 33. 3:38 left here. Here's Burke right out of the gun. Wants to throw. Hit as he throws. High over the middle. Incomplete. Off the hands of Cope Henry. That essentially acts as another timeout as it'll stop the clock with 3:34 left. It'll be 3rd and 10. Well, this is an interesting spot for me. I believe maroon. But this is my alma mater here, and I want to see them do well.
You need to put the
just
hex,
not tonight.
You need to put the hex on them there, Aaron. So the good news, like you said, the play clock or the clock stops on that incompletion. Nice play made by Lipford. So all is not lost for the Bueller Crusaders. If they can get a stop here, Wellington will probably throw it. If they throw another incompletion, Bueller's going to get the ball back with a little under 3.5.
There's going to be another timeout on the field. We'll tell you Crusader football tonight is brought to you in part by H&R Block, by Cargill Salt, by Crable Tree Clearing, Sheila Metzger Agency, and by Midway Motors. Circle next Friday to wrap up the regular season. And it gets a little dicey if Bueller gets that 3rd loss. El Dorado only has 2 losses right now. I do not know what they have left on their schedule. That would be something to look at. They're playing Circle tonight. You would expect them to win that game.
But that is a huge rivalry game.
It is.
And Circle coming off their big win over Nickerson here the other day.
You know, all those Butler County teams are so grouped. They're right there together.
Yep, and there is no love lost between El Dorado and Circle. All right, huge down here, fellas.
Out of the timeout, 3rd down and 10.
Wellington with just 1 timeout remaining, Bueller with 2.
El Dorado is at Winfield next week. 3rd and 10 at the 33. Here's Burke right out of the gun. They'll put a man in motion. Fake, Shetler up the middle. 1st down. 10-5, 1st and goal.
Yeah, Shetler on the draw just takes it up the gut. And they'll have 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Campbell, though, with the touchdown-saving tackle for Bueller. So now it's really do-or-die time for the Black Knight defense.
Did you ever think you'd see that? And I am so happy for them. See the day that El Dorado would be a top 4 seed in the playoffs.
They've come a long ways.
I'm happy for those kids, obviously. But things are upside down.
It's a weird year, 2020.
It is. 1st and goal at the 5, 2:57 left. Burkwright hands it off. Shetler stopped inside the 5. They've got to get a stop here. And down to the 3-yard line.
I can tell you can really see the heart and soul of the kids playing out right now. They are playing hard. A lot of teams, maybe when Wellington got that pick, would have just laid down. Bueller's still out there slinging it, trying to get this much-needed stop, trying to hang on and get back in this game.
Do you think that if Wellington scores, it's the dagger?
They're still, with us still having 2 timeouts, it all matters how long it takes Wellington to score here.
2nd and goal and just inside the 3-yard line. 2:17 left. Burkwright out of the gun. Long snap count. Hands it off. Trey Rusk stopped short. It's going to be 3rd and goal inside the 1. Got a late surge to get just inside the 1-yard line.
Now the tough thing, the clock continuing to bleed down. Bueller sitting on their 2 timeouts.
I know we talked a lot about missing those 2 key pieces in Blick and Cooper tonight. How much does that throw a team off? I mean, those are 2 of the most important pieces on the field for this team.
Well, it's important losses, too, when you're dealing with a great D-line like Wellington has and a decent offensive line up front, too.
3rd and goal at the 1. Quarterback sneak touchdown.
Nice job by Wellington. They just had foot-to-foot splits that time and just ramrodded it across the goal line. And with just a minute and a half left, 14-point lead, something miraculous is going to happen for the Bueller Crusaders here.
Well, if they pull this off, I guarantee you, and I'm not taking anything away from Wellington, but this will be one that, as people are reading down the scores tomorrow morning, as the extra point is up and good. No, it's no good. Missed wide right. This will be one that they stop and go, wait a minute, what? 27-13, about 30 left here in the game. Wellington up on HKFM of the Crusader Sports Network.
Listen to Crusader football on your smartphone or tablet with the Ad Astra Radio app. Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
The veterinary staff at Abilene Animal Hospital would like to wish Coach Warner and the Bueller Crusaders a healthy and successful season. The same level of hard work, dedication, and commitment to excel on the field is what we do at Abilene Animal Hospital. We continue to invest in new diagnostics and technology to make every effort to give you and your pet the best care possible. Go Crusaders!
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Hi, everybody, welcome back. 190 left in the game. And a 27-13 Wellington lead.
Well, we're going to have to get a good return here and do something quick, fellas.
Here's a kickoff back to the 20. And returned up to near the 40-yard line.
Nice return by Sam Elliott that time. First time he's touched it on a return this evening.
So you got to get a quick score and an onside kick. You got to score quick here, though.
Yep. Got to be very aware of time. 2 timeouts left. Look for Bueller to really work the sidelines throwing the football here.
From their own 40.
Still getting single coverage for the most part.
Brad Neal out of the gun, 3 wide receivers. Wants to throw far side, going for the Hail Mary, and it's picked off. Nope, he lost it.
Looking for Cameron Campbell on that far sideline.
As R.J. Clift fell to the turf, he lost the football.
But I tell you what, Campbell got behind him, but Clift was able to make a play on the ball.
The ball was just a bit underthrown.
Yeah, and luckily it doesn't burn much time. So
1:17 left.
Oof. We do have the wind at our back as it continues to blow out of the south.
Neal out of the gun. 2 receivers left, 1 right. 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Near side, McCurdy. Boy, Brock got to get out of bounds.
He did that, got the first down.
At the 45.
So clock stops on the completion. Crusaders will have a moment to get huddled up here as the officials visit a little bit with one of the Wellington D linemen. That's Hagan Wright.
15-yard catch there for Brock McCurdy. He's had a good night tonight. That touchdown in the first half, his first of the year. And what do we got here? Bueller wants a timeout. Nope, going to reset the clock here. It's at 1:07. They're going to give them time back to 1:11.
Yep, because this isn't the college or NFL ranks where once the chains are set, they start the clock. In high school, it does not start until the ball is snapped after a first down.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Neal out of the gun. 4 wide receivers. Elliott in the backfield to block. Pratt steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to scramble. He's going to take off with it. And he's going to get up shy of the 40 at the 41. Picks up 4 yards.
Yep, Bueller will be forced to burn the timeout as
59 seconds left.
So now Bueller down to 1 timeout.
Well, you go from, if they finish with a loss tonight, you go from being a control your own destiny 3rd seed to I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, right now, it's one of those things you want to try to finish this game as best you can. And, it's really now, hopefully Bueller can get it back to a 1-score game, and then you're going to have to recover an onside and do something miraculous. But
the top 8 teams will play at home in week 1, but then after that, unless you're one of the top 4 teams, you go on the road. 2nd and 6. Well, we've been familiar with the road this year. Here's Neal out of the gun, and he is going to be hit.
Sacked by Hagan Wright.
Boy, and Wright and Furman taken down at the 50, 44 seconds left. Bueller out of timeouts. Wright and Furman have been, do they have one more?
We have one more, and we use it right there. But yeah, Wright and Furman have been just a force to be reckoned with up front for us.
And again, Trevor Cooper not there. And Wellington has used that to their advantage as Bo Van Bruggen just getting used to playing tackle for the first time ever. And, wow.
Well, 40 ticks left on the clock. Tough down and distance here, 3rd and 15 after the sack. So see what Bueller can do here down the home stretch. But this is one of those points, it's kind of just a gut check time. Even when it looks like you don't have a chance to win, you kind of learn a little bit about kids on how well they want to keep fighting. And the Crusaders are still out there, still battling. Haven't seen anybody lay down and stop trying.
3rd down and 15 at the 50. It'll be Neal and Elliott in the backfield. And 4 wide receivers, trips right. Brad to throw, rolling out near side, gets rid of it as he is hit, and it's picked off. 3rd INT of the night, this one at the 30.
Yeah, this time it was picked off by Ybarra. That's
Mickey Ybarra.
That's at
a
least
hat
his,
trick.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe didn't Cope get that one pick? Cope Henry? I don't know. But that's either 2nd or 3rd. But yeah.
Wellington is going to win it with 32 seconds left, 27-13. They come into Crusader Stadium and win. I'll have to look back for the first time in a long time.
Now you mentioned, Aaron, what we'd won 11 out of the last 12 against Wellington coming into tonight. So
lost the playoff game at Wellington in 18.
Yes.
That was a tight game.
That was a tight game, and that was one of the best Wellington teams Wellington has had post Coach Hibbs. But you got to give it to Wellington. They were the more physical team tonight. Bueller didn't do ourselves any favors with the penalties, but
Wellington takes a knee for the final time, and for the Wellington Crusaders, this is a game that will turn your season around. Coming in at 1-5. Boy, you know, it is interesting to me. I think it's always this way in sports, but there is a huge difference between there's this small group of teams that is really, really, really good, and then everybody else is just kind of bunched in the middle. You look at Andale. I'm just going to throw Andale out there because honestly, for me, I think if Andale and McPherson played tomorrow, I would take Andale.
Oh, any day of the week.
Any day of the week. I mean, just the separation there between this upper echelon of teams in the league, which this year seems to be Andale and Collegiate, and then everybody else is right there in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, those two are just another level of good. But, yeah, tonight was one of those games that with a team like Wellington, they've had a rough year. You got to get some separation early. Mm-hmm. You know, we let them hang around, and, you know, they outplayed us tonight. Just a tough loss and one that, you know, you just got to hope the guys kind of lick their wounds over the weekend, have a good week of practice, and try to get ready for the next one.
Coach Warner is so good at this, but he'll get them up. You don't have time to feel sorry for yourself.
No. You cannot let one loss beat you twice. And that sometimes happens in sports where if you get too down on yourself after one loss, and there's another old saying that I always think about with sports, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are.
Well, we proved that tonight, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, this was one that, yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to show up any given night.
Last regular season loss to Wellington came in 2005 at Wellington. They also lost at Wellington in 2004. Boy, I'm still going back, trying to find when the last time Wellington won on this field.
Well, Aaron.
1994.
Okay. I was going to say, I know we lost to Wellington when I was a sophomore down at Wellington.
I would have been in high school in 1994, the last time my alma mater won on this field. That's been a long time ago.
And I was an 8th grader hanging out in the bleachers with the middle school kids at Prairie Hills, so been a minute ago.
27-13 is the final. Lots coming up in our Shirt Jack postgame. Our play and the player of the game tonight will hear. We might hear from Coach Warner tonight. This is one of those nights where I would not blame him if he forgot me. But hopefully we'll hear from him, and we'll break down tonight's win for the Wellington Crusaders. That's all coming up. Our Shirt Shack postgame begins in 2 minutes here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Listening to exclusive coverage of Crusader football on HKFM. Stay tuned for the Shirt Shack postgame show. We'll bring you analysis and break down the numbers from tonight's game. The Bueller Crusaders on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
Do you bleed maroon and white? Do you want to help the students of BHS in their extracurricular activities? The Bueller High Booster Club helps support hundreds of students each year. To join, stop by the Bueller Closet at any home game or email BuellerBoosterClub@gmail.com.
Like annual physicals, a yearly financial checkup can help make sure you're on track for well-being. This is Monty Cross with HCU Investment and Insurance Services, and we specialize in thoughtful investment guidance aimed at keeping your finances in shape. To schedule a checkup with a financial consultant, visit hcu.coop/checkup or call 620-669-0177. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Insurance products offered through LPL Financial or its licensed affiliates.
Hi, this is Cliff Ray with Ray & Sons Roofing Company, and today I brought our 4-year-old grandson, Brogan. Brogan, did you know Ray & Sons Roofing is 80 years old this year? Do you know what that means?
No, Papa.
It means we have a lot of experience. Brogan, did you know we have been the best of the best every year? You know what that means?
What, Papa?
People trust us, and that's a very good thing. For a free inspection or estimate, go to rayandsons.com.
Roof the right way, the right way.
First National Bank is a proud sponsor of local high school sports. We have an experienced staff prepared to provide you with a variety of banking solutions. Please visit our website, fnbhutch.bank. That's fnbhutch.bank for more information. First National Bank of Hutchinson, we're first for you.
Visit one of the First's 5 convenient locations in Hutchinson, including inside Dillon's Marketplace. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
And Crusader football tonight brought to you in part by Adams, Brown, Barron, and Ball. Actually, they have a new name, by the way. Did you know that? Adams, Brown, Strategic Allies, and CPAs. We'll have the final recap of the game brought to you by the fine folks there. Coming up, Yoder Meats by Erickson Custom Building, by Isaacson Insurance, and by the Bueller Roundtable. Be sure and sign up for the Bueller Roundtable football newsletter that comes out once a week. Not only what's happening with our varsity, but our JV and our freshmen, as well as our middle schoolers. Stay up to date with what's happening there. Well, just to put a recap on the game, you talked about letting Wellington hang around. And, you know, I asked you the question, Blick, and I think more importantly than that, Cooper, not here tonight against a big physical front like Wellington. Peter was not able to move the ball consistently on offense. And I don't know how much the penalties, the holding penalties, are attributed to the offensive line being jumbled up. I have no idea because we don't ever know exactly who the hold is on.
Well, I think a lot of those holding penalties, when you're dealing with big physical D linemen, you're going to be trying to block them, and so just effort-wise, you know, you're probably going to hold them a little bit more than you would if it's a guy you're not really, you know, that's not really pushing around, but just the bull rush of those guys up front. You know, Kenny Furman was a guy that was on the scouting report all week long that Bueller really knew that they were going to have to stop to try to be successful tonight, but him along with Hagen Wright and some of the other big fellows up front and Trevor Clark, I mean, they kept throwing some big bodies at us up front. It was tough to run inside for Bueller, and you know, Wellington made us work for every yard that we scraped out tonight.
Yeah, so the penalties it seemed like so many, especially in the second half, so many second down, they'd get positive yardage on first down. And whether it was a penalty or a negative play, they had a lot of bad second down plays tonight.
Yeah, and if you go back, just another thing that really just stands out to me, clear back when Sam Elliott broke that long run, we had it 1st and goal from inside the 5, was not able to score on it. And in a game where yards were so hard to come by and so hard fought, having that long of a play not yield any yards, that really was something that came back to haunt the Crusaders.
They got the ball on that series. That was in the first quarter, all the way down to the 1-yard line, and could not score. And that just doesn't happen very often.
No doubt.
So that tough there, but give it to the front four of Wellington, who was the difference in really, to be honest with you, all year, even in the MAC game. Like I felt like our line play was better than their line play. I feel like this is the first time this year where our line on both sides of the ball got a little outplayed tonight.
Yeah, I mean they have you hit the nail on the head. Last week against McPherson, I felt like we were the more physical team. Mac was able to get the win, but this week Wellington was the more physical team. That's not to say our guys didn't get after it, but Wellington brought it tonight.
All right, and we're going to get to our post-game thoughts with head coach Steve Warner here as he joins us graciously. Of course, we'll have our Crusader Sports Talk Coaches Show coming up Monday night at 6:30. We'll be inside thoughts with Coach. Coach, obviously, boy, not the finish. I know there's a lot of places you could go with it. I know the kids got to be hurting. Tough loss tonight. A team that was 1-5, better than 1-5.
Well, I think we saw it on film too. We knew that they were big and physical, and they just out-physical us. Not to make excuses, but we lose Trevor, and we don't have a whole lot of time to get ready losing Trevor because it happened on Wednesday. And that doesn't, it's not an excuse, but it's just our offense never really got in sync, and then we threw 3 interceptions, and we couldn't run the ball like we wanted to. I think Sam had quite a few yards at times, and the second half they shut him down. We didn't finish. And defense needed to make a stand. Of course, then the onside, well, it wasn't even an onside kick. It's what they do. They pooch it, and then for them to get the ball back there, that's something you don't ever see very often. So that was a sick feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at still some missed opportunities. You missed the extra point in the first half, and then you had the ball 1st and goal there midway through the second quarter and weren't able to score.
Well, we go to our power package, and how many times you've called a lot of games for us. How many times have you seen us get stopped by doing that? And that hurt us, but not being able to run our lead play right there. And then I wish I had the quarterback sneak call back, but we moved the ball, quarterback sneak. They were lined up the way we wanted, and we just didn't get off the ball like we were supposed to. And we had the option that if we pull it, we walk into the end zone, and we give it. So then that it's just those are things just frustrating that. We should be making those plays. There's no excuse for that now.
Yeah, this is the first time this year, even in the 2 losses prior to this, I felt like our line play was better last week than McPherson's, even in a loss. First time this year when I felt like their defensive line really got the better of us. So,
nope, they did without a doubt. And again, we lost Trevor, so that definitely hurts, and we're going to have to play without him the rest of the year. And I'll have to look. Maybe Bo needs to be at tight end. I just don't know. We'll have to be looking at a lot of different things and have to get some things figured out.
Coach, I know you're good at coaching them up, and this one hurts tonight, but you got to go back to work tomorrow because there's still, you still have everything in front of you. You can come back from this 1 week at a time, and you got to get ready for next week. So.
Yeah, we have to, without a doubt. We'll put it behind us, and obviously have to watch this film and get better from it, and just not something that we're used to, losing a game that we should have won. That hasn't happened very many times. It's a terrible feeling. Yes, we knew they were a decent 1-5 team, but them to control the line of scrimmage like they did was not very pleasing to a coach.
All right, Coach. Well, appreciate your time as always. I know you probably won't sleep a ton tonight, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, very gracious to give us his time tonight is Coach Warner, and I've called a lot of Bueller football games since he got here in 2006, and called a lot of great games and a few heartbreaking losses, and I said it. You were a coach for a long time. I'm sure you have a box state championship game, a few of those that you keep in a box that every once in a while you're like, man, I wish I had that back.
Yep.
And this is going to be one of those that the next time next few times they play Wellington, this one's going to come back up.
Yes, it'll come back out, and it'll be fresh in all the players and coaches' minds about, the time that they came to town and beat us. But, and he talked about the play clear back in the first half when we had first and goal and didn't punch it in. And, this was a night where it was really hard. Yards were hard to come by, and that really, not scoring there really came back to haunt us. But, a tough game, but the good thing about this group of young men and coaches, they'll watch the film, work over the weekend, work all next week, and get ready to make the trip over to Wanda next week and try to right the ship.
Sorry, I didn't mean to pry open your box, but
no.
How do you feel about the Madison Bulldog?
I have never watched the film of that game, and I don't know. That's been over 10 years. Well, it's 10 years ago in November, but there's games that hurt, that just bother you forever. This is one that I'm sure they'll be frustrated about for quite some time.
My grandfather is a.
I know you have all those Madison.
Is a Madison High alum.
All those Southeast Kansas schools. I'm not much of a fan of.
Oh wow, yeah, this one. But as Coach talked about, hey, we got to go back to work. We got a game next week.
Yep. And you can't let one loss beat you twice. We talked about it maybe off the air. I can't remember if we talked about it on the air, but that's something that just as a group of young men, you got to bounce, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get ready, right, Tyler?
Well, you see here, we typically do one play at a time, but at this time it's one game at a time. So even though we lost tonight, and last week, I'm hoping that they didn't get their hopes down because they lost last week, but hopefully they just go back because Circles, not a very good team, but we thought that about Wellington. But just one game at a time now, just to start getting their hopes up for the playoffs.
Well, here's an interesting stat for you. Under Coach Steve Warner, since 2006, this team has never had a losing record after week one. They are 3-3, and so let's get back to work, and let's keep that streak alive. Real quickly, we'll wrap up tonight's scoring. Inside the Numbers brought to you by Adams Brown Strategic Allies and CPAs. Proudly serving businesses in Kansas for the past 70 years. Online at adamsbrowncpa.com. Bueller scored first in this game with 10:49 to go in the first. An 11-yard touchdown run by fullback Colin Rowland. 11 plays, 72 yards on the drive, made it 7-0. Wellington answered right back on a 1-yard Berkeley Wright touchdown, the quarterback keeper. It is 7-7 with 8:14 to play in the second. That was 8 plays, 62 yards on that drive. Bueller's second score of the night comes with 2:19 to go in the second. And the biggest play of the year for Brock McCurdy from Bradley Neal, just his second touchdown throw of the year of 37 yards. Brock scores with 2:19 left. They missed the PAT. 3 plays, 38 yards. It is 13-7. That would be our halftime score. No scoring in the third quarter tonight. There were 6 punts between the two schools in the third quarter. Wellington gets it in the fourth. Their first of 2 touchdowns, a 1-yard run by Burke Wright, his second score of the night, 7:35 left in the game. It's 14-13. And then that, you heard Warner allude to it, the pooch kick on the kickoff, touched by a Crusader, a loose ball picked up by Wellington, and they would go 4 plays and score from the 50, Monte Tate, on a 23-yard touchdown pass, the extra point, and the final score tonight. Actually, that was the second of 3 scores, in the fourth quarter, 21-13, and then they had the touchdown run by Wright to finish things off, 27-13 PAT there, no good. That is our Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Adams Brown Strategic Allies and CPAs. Back with our play and player of the game right after this on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Coming up, we'll revisit the key stats with today's Mid-Kansas Credit Union game recap and hear from head coach Steve Warner. Crusader football is...
Announce our play and the player of the game. We'll start with our Dick's Phillips 66 fill-up of the game tonight. Fill-up on top-tier gasoline, snacks, and more. At Dick's Phillips 66, family-owned for nearly 60 years. Every journey begins with a stop at Dick's Phillips 66, 4th and Stevens in Hutchinson. And our play of the game tonight came with 2:19 to go in the second quarter. Bueller's second touchdown, a throw of 37 yards from Brad Neal to Brock McCurdy out of the slot over the middle. Brock's longest catch of the year and his first touchdown of the year, and most of that 37 came on yards after catch.
Yeah, it was a good, nice yak play. He did something with the football after he caught it because the ball was maybe only thrown maybe 8 yards downfield, and then he had to do the rest of it on the ground.
All right, so that touchdown by Brock McCurdy is our Dick's Phillips 66 fill-up of the game tonight. Our player of the game, WIFCO Steel Products Man of Steel tonight. From storage tanks to steel walkways, stairways, and platforms, WIFCO Steel Products, the expert in steel fabrication, online at wifcosp.com. And that would be wearing a different number tonight, junior defensive end Bovan Bruggen. And I thought 1A and 1B that Dalen Coffey was right there, too, in the backfield all night. But Bovan Bruggen, for his work on the defensive end, is going to be our player of the game. And it's a feel-good pick for me, too, because I know he's going to be beating himself up with the way things went on the offensive side tonight. But he and Dalen both were just beasts on the defensive line.
Yeah, they really got some pressure down the home stretch when we needed to put some pressure on Burke Wright. But, yeah.
Well, first off, Dalen had some pretty big hits on the defensive side. And then Bovan Bruggen being able to adjust to play. He played tackle?
Yes.
Being able to play tackle. And then going from number 40 to 75, historically known for wearing 75. So Meanbo Green was back on the defensive side as well.
You know, and you look up the points. They gave up the 3 scores. Wellington had a short field quite a bit in the second half. And you just can't ask your defense to be on the field that much. So
Yeah. And really the game really swung to Wellington's favor when they had the collected the onside kick.
Yeah.
I mean, that really just, swung things the way of the Wellington Crusaders.
There will forever now be 2 plays in my box that will stick with me for the rest of my life. That will be one of them. But you can't guess. Well, you can guess the other one is the 2-point conversion
Up
in
at Mac,
McPherson.
yes. Yeah. I remember it well.
So that's our player and player of the game tonight here at the Shirt Shack postgame. We'll look at some other final scores and be back to wrap it up right after this.
Steve Warner for the Crusader Coaches Show, live from AJ Sports Grill, Monday nights at 6:30 on HKFM. Your home for Crusader football is Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
As school kicks into high gear, Rise Up Reno wants to remind parents that daily conversations can have a lasting impact. An alarming number of preteens are already consuming alcoholic beverages. According to KCTC data, 24% of 6th graders in Reno County have drank more than just a few sips of alcohol. Youth who drink are more likely to use drugs, get poor grades, make bad decisions, and have health problems. Help protect your children by having conversations about the dangers of drinking. Talk, they hear you. Visit riseupreno.org for more information.
Yoder Meats is way more than just meat, but if you're looking for grain-fed, locally raised, antibiotic-free, and no hormone-added beef, Yoder Meats is the place. Feed the family with your choice of bundles or smaller butcher bags designed with a variety of meats to fit your needs. They have exotic meats too, and a wide variety of delicious cheeses, baked goods, groceries, specialty candies, gift items, and even products for your pet. Get it all at Yoder Meats in Yoder, open 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday. Find specials at yodermeatsks.com.
IdeaTech brings the fastest, most reliable internet service to rural towns in our region, and we back it up with the friendliest customer service based right out of Bueller. With our fully fiber optic network, IdeaTech customers can enjoy speeds faster than those in the largest cities in the U.S., serving small communities in south central Kansas and select parts of Hutchinson. Visit ideatech.com or call us at 620-543-5000 to learn more.
Hutch Rec is your community recreation provider. We're passionate in bringing healthy living opportunities through our youth and adult sports, wellness and fitness classes, and several of our community events and races. We're also your community spirit provider, offering endless recreational opportunities at Dillon Nature Center, Senior Center at Elmdale Park, the Sports Arena, plus Hutch Rec downtown. See all of the community spirit and healthy living opportunities Hutchrec provides your community at hutchrec.com and on our Hutchrec Facebook page.
Bueller Crusader football is on Oldies 95.9 HKFM.
And welcome back here at Crusader Stadium, our Shank postgame. Let's wrap it up with our Bueller Dental Care scoreboard tonight as we go through some other final scores. From regular teeth cleanings to advanced periodontal work, your hometown dentist is Bueller Dental Care, online at BuellerDentalCare.com. Let's run through some. Mays in a close one beats Derby tonight, 36-35 in the top division of the AVCTL. Southeast of Saline over Smoky Valley, 53-8. Marion beats Sterling tonight. Tough loss for the Black Bears, 22-20. Canton Galva, 66. Solomon, nothing, as the Eagles roll on, the defending 8-man-1 champions. Elsewhere, Hutch High with a 42-28 win over Campus. Collegiate blanks Halstead 33-0. Fort Scott 22. Another loss for Wamego tonight. They have lost a couple in a row now, 18. Goddard beats Salina Central 36-18. Heston 54. Wichita Trinity 13. Another final score elsewhere. Bishop Carroll beats Bishop Miege tonight 56-28. Here's a crazy stat. The team that wins the 4A state title could go into the playoffs with a losing record. How weird is that?
Very well could happen.
Welcome to 2020.
Yes, it is a year of strange things.
Very interesting. Paola beats Eudora tonight 31-26. Although I don't think that Miege team is good as some of the others have been. Norwich 68, Stafford 22. Holton beats Rock Creek tonight 41-21. Fourth quarter, Dodge City was leading Goddard Eisenhower 30-23. Valley Center 27, Arc City 21. That is a final. Garden Plain 55, Belle Plain 17 in the fourth quarter. One other final, Christopher. May South wins over Hayes High tonight 21-20.
Well, I got some of the other finals from elsewhere on the Ad Astra Sports Network. On Kansas Rocks 100.3 Canes, yes, Haven gives Trinity Catholic their first loss of the season, winning a thriller 20-18. Another final from elsewhere on the network. Inman blows out Remington tonight. That game was on 94.7, 54-13. The Teutons look like they're going to make a run in the 1A playoffs. We already got the Canton Galva Solomon final that was on Kicks Country 106, 66-0. And you mentioned earlier Central Plains 45, Central Christian at the half. And I do have not a stat but a score historical thing here, Aaron. We were talking about 1994 being the last time Wellington won here. I've double-checked it, dug up the records. Wellington's last win here was in 2005. So it doesn't have to go back to when you were in high school and I was in middle school, so I can emphasize how much older you are than me.
Oh, thank you. You have no idea how hard he worked to prove me wrong on that, too. I mean, he was checking, like, sites.
Well, you told me sites that I'd never even had heard of, but good old Max Preps back there in the cobwebs reminded me of the scene back in Indiana Jones when they go into the archives at the end. We found the Ark in a crate.
Yeah, I would have never made it because the snakes I would have turned around. So I'm done. A couple of other scores that have rolled in. Fourth quarter, Rose Hill was dominating Wellington, 41-7. That was one of their final two. But, yeah, so what this sets up is we talked about in the pregame that if Bueller won out, they would be guaranteed at least the third seed. Still an outside chance of the two, and I haven't heard how Andover Central and Andover did tonight. But now this throws them into a pack of 1, 2, 3, 4 other teams that came into tonight with 500 records. Bueller at 3-3. Rose Hill looks like they're going to win tonight to improve to 4-3. El Dorado very well could end the season with 2 losses. Wamego falls tonight. I think they're going to continue falling back. But Bueller could go from being guaranteed a 3 to potentially a 5 or 6. I mean, there's still a lot to play for, and we don't know. But it's a weird year. There's a lot jumbled up. And 2 things against Bueller, obviously. I think the main one being now that one game against Andover Central, an opportunity to win another game hurts you. And they're going to get jumbled in with a bunch of teams that are kind of 500 teams, and it may be after next week before we find out where they end up.
Just got a score update from Rock and Heath Schroeder at the Ad Astra Radio Studios. We don't know if it's final, but he has Andover Central over Andover 7-0. So that would keep Andover Central above us in the standings.
Yeah, so very well. Wow, El Dorado could be the 3rd seed in the West playoffs. How crazy is that?
Stranger things have happened,
oh my
but
gosh, that's
it's 2020, gentlemen.
The year of COVID, and anything can happen. All right, well, thank you all so much. Great job tonight, fellas. Thank you to our fine sponsors along the network. And join us Monday night coming up, our Crusader Sports Talk Coaches Show. We'll be live at 6:30 Monday night with Coach Warner to talk Crusader football in studio. Want to wish good luck the rest of this weekend to our Crusader tennis team. We know that Brittany Teufel is in the semifinals tomorrow, that Alex Hutton and that Kayla Babcock are also in. And Casey Leal, did she win her 3rd?
So she lost to Alyssa Fries of Chapman 9-1.
Oh, wow.
And so they actually faced in the 3rd and 4th place match of regionals last week. And then in the losers bracket, instead of playing 2 sets, you play 1 set to 9. And so she lost 9-1.
So Casey Leal needed that second win of the backside to advance to day 2. And it may be a tough road for the Crusaders to get to a state title now. And, of course, we could go all the way back to regionals and Olivia Frederick not getting to play because of COVID and just a lot of things there. So, but good luck to Brittany Teufel tomorrow in singles, and to Alex and Kayla, 3 seniors tomorrow trying for state championships. That's pretty cool. And good luck to our golf team, too. They'll be in Emporia Monday and Tuesday trying for back-to-back state titles for the 2nd time in school history. Good stuff.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's lots of Crusaders taking the floor and the courts in many different sports.
All right, fellas, well, have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday. We'll be in Towanda. It's a great place to be this time of year.
Towanda's always beautiful.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
From T-Bird Stadium next Friday night, thanks to our partners on the Crusader Sports Network. I don't know about the camera pointing at us, but yeah, and they can see that we're just...
Yeah, I know. The listenership and viewership is going to go to heck in a handbasket.
So if you're going to do this, I feel like they need the fancy green screen behind us.
I know it.
Yeah, with the graphics.
We're going to have to work on that.
Is that in the budget?
Need
the
to talk
green
to Will
screen?
at Good Vibes?
Maybe.
Get something printed up.
It can be. Colton and Tyler, thank you guys so much for your partnership tonight, and have a good weekend, okay?
You guys too.
Christopher, yeah, have a good weekend. I'm going to spend my weekend soccer and leaves. That's what's in my near future.
I get to go to Topeka for a Zuri tournament, soccer tournaments all weekend in Topeka, which, talking about Towanda, Topeka is beautiful this time of the year too.
Well, you know, there's some good things in Topeka, so
Are you sure about that?
We'll talk off the air, and
you can take your kids to see the state capitol.
I was born there.
You can go to the...
Oh, there you go. Boyhood home of Tyler Adams.
Have a nice capital. You can go to the zoo. There's 1 or 2 things to do there. So, and it's just a stone's throw away from the most beautiful town in the state.
It's too close to that place for my liking. Way too close.
Oh, so much good stuff. Well, fellas, have a good weekend. We'll see you next Friday. Final, Wellington wins it. Tough loss tonight, 27-13. Wellington improves to 2-5 on the year, and they will finish up next Friday at home, and a chance to win another one against the Mulvane Wildcats. Bueller 3-3, and we'll wrap up at Circle.